Don't know. Hmm? What's that? Was it working?
No.
Is YouTube playing up?
All the live stream.
All the live streams are playing up. If not, we may be heading over to Twitch, guys. Well, we're back. We're back. We are set up. We are ready. Let's see if this maintains. We'll see if this works, guys. But apparently YouTube is massively playing up. So, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not multi-streaming, so maybe that was it. The connection. I did see my missus just came in and just said other streams are playing up as well. So yeah, it seems like YouTube has a bit of a technical issues today. So but yeah, let me know if everything's all right, guys. Hopefully we are up and running and we can get up to date with our stream. Oh. Is everything all right? All good? Let's increase chat a little bit. Yeah, all good? Happy days, happy days. Right, fingers crossed, that's it. Maybe it was the multi-streaming issue. We shall overcome. Yes, we shall overcome. But yeah, here we are, guys. Here we are. Only not long until the Mexican GP gets underway. So I have 4 tyres of use here. I don't think we're going to see 4 tyres be used today. But yes, 20 minutes to go, as is being reported by Joe Granew's engineer there. But as is tradition here, guys, let's have... we'll wait for a few more of you to roll in before we have a look at what the strategies are for today. But yes, hopefully there are no more issues. Let's just go back to my Twitter as well. Why can't I just go back to my own Twitter, you know? Like, how hard is that on the PC version? Honestly. That's where I go. Okay. Let's copy that first. Delete that and then put a new tweet out. Sorry guys, it's always a little bit obviously up in the air, not as seamless as I would like it to be today. But hey ho, hey ho. But yeah, welcome everyone. Does it keep dropping out? Is it still dropping out, guys? Not for you, Antonio. It's really odd. It's really odd. I mean, I'm seeing some other people with like quite large numbers. Rock solid now. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll see. We'll see. Happy days. Happy days. You're on the east coast of the US. Happy days. Right. Where was I at? Yeah, I mean, the internet shouldn't be an issue. I think it's genuinely just a YouTube issue today with streams. As I said, seen other people report similar things. Just keep me updated, guys, on the performance. I'm not seeing any frame rate drops in the Streamlabs, and the YouTube does say it's okay, but we'll see. We'll see. Blame it on two things: altitude and clocks going back. Clocks going back makes you tired, Marlin. How? You should have got an extra hour's sleep, buddy. Should have got an extra hour. Ricardo was brilliant yesterday. Yes, he was. And it generally looks like he has got some good pace here. I expect the Mercedes to be a bit stronger on their race pace. Looks like they were heavily affected by the changing track temperatures yesterday. So we saw kind of relatively what they can do pace-wise with the Q2 session. And then, of course, in Q3, they completely dropped off. So don't expect to see the soft tyre really be a viable option today. We'll have a look at the strategy options in a second and what tyres they have left. So, yeah, we'll see. Hey, random. They did not punish the rest of David's notice. Yeah, we'll have a chat in a second about those non-penalties for George Russell and conveniently Max Verstappen again for yesterday for impeding in the pit lane. I have some strong opinions on that one. You're not very good at this whole sleep thing. Trust me, when you get older, you will be. Because you think it's tiring now being a kid or a teenager. Wait until you get into the real world. It's life is just tiring. Right, guys. Right. So, welcome everyone who is just joining in. We've had some brief technical difficulties. The missus is saying the stream is buffering for her. Let me know, guys, if anyone is experiencing the same issues. Is anyone experiencing the same issues in regards to buffering of the stream? Let me know. Seems to be people in the UK. Good for now in the west coast of Canada. Good to see you, Casey. Good to see you on the other side of the pond. Suspect even if Max takes a spanner to a competitor's car, they'll find a way to punish him. Not to punish him, yeah. All good, Carla. Good. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Right, well, I suppose let's get into the swing of things, shall we? Let's have a look at the strategies for today. And, well, I'm just going to move this track map out of the way, and you will see that we have 3 options today. Not many options. Kind of boring, to be perfectly honest with you. Thanks for the updates, guys, on the stream. Yeah, just let me know if it does drop out at all. YouTube has been suffering. If not, we'll head over to Twitch. I do have a Twitch account. Not that I use it a lot. Trying to multi-stream a bit more now, but yeah, we'll head over to Twitch to do this remainder of this watch along if it keeps dropping out. We'll see. But yes, we have a free stop. Sorry, we have 3 options for strategies today, and really, Mexico without a safety car is always a one-stopper. It's a bit of a boring race. I have very low expectations for today's race, and well, yes, we have pretty much the medium and hard tyre being of a use. Soft tyre will only really come into being a viable option if there's like a late safety car. But yes, medium and hard compound tyre. So let's have a look and see what tyres everyone has left. Well, really, what we're interested in are those guys on the left-hand side. We have Verstappen with 2 brand new sets of hard compound tyres. Do you know what? It's kind of annoying. Verstappen always has the right amount of tyres like left. 2 hard tyres, or I mean, look, if the medium compound tyre is the better choice, then maybe that'd be of benefit to them. But Perez has 2 brand new sets of mediums. Leclerc has only 1. Same as Sainz, Russell, Hamilton. Interestingly, Ocon and Norris obviously are further down the grid, aren't they? So they have soft tyres to use. But Max there, I don't know how Max has got 2 brand new sets of hards to use. He must have not run any of them in the practice sessions this weekend. That's intriguing. Just praying George don't run into the back of Lewis at turn 1. Yeah. You're now sustaining a major bug. Inform me if you're witnessing this as well. No, it seems to be... yeah, sorry. It seems to be a bit up in and out, really, unfortunately, for some people. So, yeah, do apologise there, guys. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not really too much else to kind of discuss in regards to strategy. It's always a bit boring. Mexico, if I'm honest with you. As we said, low expectations, so we'll see. We do have Snailball alarm unwatchable. Well, yeah, sorry, Sam. Sorry, buddy. We might have a few dropouts today. But yes, the penalties yesterday. Well, I say penalties, non-penalties. Non-penalties were terrible. What are they doing? How is that not impeding? How are they saying that's acceptable? I don't understand. The FIA are just horrendous. They're absolutely horrendous when it comes to... yeah, they're just absolutely horrendous when it comes to fucking being consistent and actually making decisions. They've got no balls on them whatsoever. And it's just very, very frustrating being a fan of F1. Especially after they came out and said Max should have got a penalty for Singapore. And then in the end, he's done exactly the same here, probably even worse. And... gets away with it. George gets away with it. I think both of them deserve penalties, to be perfectly honest with you. They're explaining that they're trying to build a gap and that it was supposed. Their reasoning was that they understand it was safer to do that in the pit lane rather than out on circuit. But when has that ever been a viable option? When has that ever been a viable option for holding in the pit lane? I don't get it. I don't understand it. And for me, it just seems like because it's one particular individual who's involved again, it's a non-penalty. There seems to be a pattern. There seems to be a big pattern occurring, and I don't like it. I don't like it. No, we're going to be keeping it over here. Hey, John, good to see you, buddy. We're going to be keeping it over on YouTube unless it gets unbearable, unless I see any sort of issues my end. Yeah, unfortunately, I am going to be keeping it just on YouTube. This is where most of you follow me. As I said, some of you don't have Twitch. Unless it gets unbearable, we will head over to Twitch. But yes, this is where we're going to be streaming today. I do apologise if there's any technical difficulties you're receiving. It's not on my end. It's on YouTube's. It seems to be that they're a bit in and out today with their streams. I was uploading a video earlier, actually, and I was trying to play it. And yeah, I was wondering why it wasn't playing, and it's clearly a YouTube issue. So... remember when Alonso went deliberately off track in protest of lack of T1 track limit enforcement? Yes, yes. Hey, Veronica, good to see ya. Any predictions on the podium? I still think Max is going to win this race. I think even if he's not first into T1, as long as he gets through T1 unscathed, he should have enough to win this race just with tyre deg and management. Just with tyre management, to be honest, and then the Ferraris. But intrigued to see what Danny Rick can do. I expect the Mercedes. I do expect to see one of the Mercedes fighting for a podium today, whether that be Hamilton or Lewis. Sorry, Hamilton is Lewis. Whether that be Hamilton or Russell, I don't know. The start's going to be interesting. The start is going to be interesting. And sorry, someone did say that the. Someone did say that Norris, where is Norris going to finish? Is he going to finish in the points? I suspect so. Yeah, I do suspect so. Marlin, unfortunately, I do apologise if you're struggling, buddy. It's not much. There's not much I can do here. I am going to keep streaming on YouTube. I'm not going to end the stream and go over to Twitch. It's a bit hit and miss, it seems, where you are. Do apologise. It's not my fault, but we'll. Yeah, we're going to keep the content here. The stream quality may improve as it goes on. Seems to be that some of you are having no issues whatsoever. So I can't, Marlin, because if I have to, for me to go live on Twitch now, I have to stop the stream and restream. So yeah, I can't do that, buddy. Sorry, man. Other streams, not so much. Very strange. Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss at the moment. Bald does seem to be. Max will win and Ferrari will blunder track position due to track position. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Of course, Max does have the... It'd be intriguing to see how the Ferraris play it off the line down into T1. I think it was... Was it last year or the year before last? Where basically, I think the two Mercedes just didn't play it right and they let Max go through. Was it 2021? I think it was 2021, wasn't it? Like Bottas just didn't do his part, and they didn't block off Max, and he just swooped around the outside. So there's that potential again for Max doing that today with the Ferraris. Perhaps Albon in the points. Yes, Albon, I think, had damage. There was something definitely not right with Albon's car in qualifying. He obviously was unfortunate with his track limits violation, which knocked him out of Q3. He does have a pacey car here this weekend, so keep an eye on Albon. He's probably a dark horse to watch. Yeah, he was almost asking the team to check for damage because something just wasn't right with the car during qualifying. 2021 Bottas did a meh. Yeah, he did, didn't he? He did. Good evening, James. Good to see you, buddy. Excited for the race? Well, you're a lot more excited than I am. I wish I could fake my excitement, but obviously while you guys are here, I'm not particularly under contract with Sky or anything, so I don't have to feign excitement. I'm always honest with you guys, and Mexico for me has always been one of the dullest races we experience on the calendar. It is only here for one reason: Sergio Perez. And while it is a party atmosphere, the stadium section is dull, and the track, it actually ruins the circuit. Because if the stadium section wasn't there, the last corner would be a nice free-flowing right-hander. It really sets up the main overtaking opportunity down into T1. So I tweeted earlier, unless we get a safety car, I don't think we're going to see a very interesting race. I hope I'm wrong. As always, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just got very low expectations. So. I'll have some of what Crofty has to be hyped for Mexico. What Crofty has is probably a hefty bank balance. He probably has a nice... he probably has a lot more zeros on the end of his pay packet than I do, that's for sure, working for Sky. Is a stream buffering for others? Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss today, guys. Do apologise. YouTube seems to be having some issues. YouTube does seem to be having some issues, so yeah, unfortunately we are a bit in and out. It doesn't seem to be just us, it seems to be many on YouTube. See if anyone else is having those issues. I think others are having the same as well. Reporting, but it's in and out. It's just a shame today, guys. Do apologise. Yeah, we're going to keep it here. We are going to keep it here because I feel like I'll be alienating even more of you by moving over to Twitch than just obviously staying on YouTube. So, is it not, James? Oh man, can you watch it through data? I don't know. If watching it through data is better than watching it through Wi-Fi, if you've got enough data to watch. Yeah, sorry, Marlon. It's you. Maybe try and watch YouTube through the actual website rather than the app. The website, try something different there. Stream is fine. Yes, it's very hit and miss. Very hit and miss. Yeah, do apologise, guys. Not much we can do as we get the tyres come off of the tyre blankets come off, and Lando going bold at the start on the soft compound tyre. He is going to have some fun today. He is going to have some fun today. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. That's the thing. Like, is that even with these issues, we do. Look, I've obviously built up a following here, so yeah, I'm not going to be moving over to Twitch just solely for this stream, unless it was unbearable for obviously a lot of you. But yeah, I do apologise, guys. Do apologise. If you've got a VPN, maybe try and use a VPN and set your website to somewhere else. I must admit, I am using a VPN. I'm using a VPN so that I'm in the US, because I've had issues in the past with streaming from the UK, and I've had I've had issues with, yeah, obviously copyright, being flagged for copyright. So I stream mainly from a server in the US, and I've had no issues since because there's different kind of laws and stuff out in the US compared to Europe and the UK. I'm sorry, Marlin. I know obviously it's one of those, but unfortunately I can't. I'm not going to be streaming on Twitch today. But yes, hey ho, guys. We are only a few minutes away from the formation lap. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. I'm not going to make much more reference to, unfortunately, the technical difficulties that YouTube is occurring today. But we are less than 2 minutes away from this Mexican Grand Prix. And, well, everyone's starting on the medium compound tyre other than Albon and Ocon. And Lando Norris, who is the only man on the grid on the soft compound. So most of those going for that one stop with the medium. Albon and Ocon going on the alternative strategy, trying to hope for the medium tyre, the quicker medium tyre at the end of the race. So keep an eye out on those two. If they're able to make some headway on the hard tyre, that will serve them some good in the end. But yeah, keep an eye out on Lando. He's going to be aggressive today. He's going to have a look at having some fun. That's all we can go for, really. Russell should have taken the used softs as well. Well, no, because the thing is, this weekend we are one step softer compound-wise than we were last year. So the soft tyres aren't lasting very long. And obviously they're struggling with the degging them. I mean, Lando's got to be careful. On one hand, I mean, Lando's going to be pitting quite early. I'm intrigued to see how early he does actually pit. But yes, we'll see. But Danny Rick's the one to keep an eye out on today. Where do we think Danny Rick is going to finish? In that top 5, he's got to be aiming to just keep ahead of Perez, isn't he? Surely. Use a VPN to change my location to US works much better. Yeah. Yes, it seems to be a bit of a region thing. So if you've got a VPN, guys, and you're suffering with some buffering, I highly recommend setting yourself to somewhere in the US. That is where I am ranging from at the moment. YouTube suffering difficulties, seems to be a bit regional. So yeah, but here we go. Not long until this race starts. Can the Ferraris end up holding off the Max Verstappen in the Red Bull? He is going, by the way, guys, to break his... If he wins today, he will break his win record that he set last year of all-time wins in a season. He is going for the 16th. Yes, you heard that right. His 16th win this season. So if he does that today, it beats 15 that he set last season. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. 1 year since you found this channel, Lemon. Happy anniversary. Welcome, buddy, and welcome anyone else who has come back, whether you say hello in the chat or not. If you've just been enjoying these watch-alongs and the other content that I provide, much appreciated. I've got an important meeting tomorrow as well that is going to do some big things for this channel. So yeah, looking forward to revealing all to you guys very soon. But who do we think is going to win this race, guys? Let me know in chat. Who do we think is going to win this race? Is it going to be one of the Ferraris? Is it going to be Max Verstappen? Are we going to see Perez win for the first time in his home race? Of course, he has that AlphaTauri of Danny Ricciardo in front of him. Will it be a shock and be one of the Mercedes? Who knows? It's all to play for, and it's going to be very tasty down into the first corner. Who am I rooting for? To be honest, I'm just rooting for a good race today. I'm not particularly rooting for anyone because it's just, as I said earlier on, this race has always been a bit of a dull affair. Can we have an actual interesting Mexico race? Is it possible? We'll see. But I think this race doesn't have very long left on the calendar. It will only be on the calendar for as long as Perez is still here. So, yeah, if Perez decides to retire at the end of this season, then, yeah, I think this will be off the calendar pretty sharpish. Ricciardo for the win. But yes, sorry if there's any lag spikes, guys, as we are only seconds away from this race starting. I am going to proceed with this as normal, and hopefully your streams are able to sort themselves out. But here we are, Sargent backing up the pack here, guys, as we're only seconds away from the start of the Mexican Grand Prix. Sargent in 19th. Stroll, who has had lots of changes made to his car, is starting from the pit lane for the second race in a row. And they are lined up. It is lights out. And away we go. Has anyone bogged down at the start here? It does seem that Verstappen's dot has made a very good start there, as he's already ahead of Verstappen, as Leclerc has had a terrible start. As he's Sainz has dropped further back there. I wonder if that's an issue with the track map. There does seem to be a yellow flag down into the first corner, as we kind of suspected. Drama down in the first corner, as it seems Perez is down into 19th position. Perez is the biggest loser there, as Verstappen is already into first place after the first corner, ahead of the two Ferraris. Sainz has regained a position, and Ricciardo is up in 4th. Hamilton and Russell in 5th and 6th there, but Perez is down to last position. What has happened there? But Verstappen, that's it, guys. Mexican Grand Prix is over and done with. It's won. You can go home. You can turn off this stream. See you guys next week at the Brazilian Grand Prix. But yes, Perez is the biggest loser there. I wonder if he's got damage or if he was just completely forced wide. We will see. But yes, Leclerc is in P2, Sainz in 3rd. There was a bit of a delay there in regards to the track map and the data as they head through the stadium section for the first time. But let's have a look at the start of this race on the TV replay. And just watching it now, and Verstappen had a great launch. That's his best start of the season. Just went straight past Sainz, straight past him. But Perez had a great start as well. Oh, dear. Wow. Wow. So, basically, Leclerc's got damage. Leclerc has got front wing damage. His front wing end plate is hanging off. He might be getting a black and white flag very soon to pit, unless that comes off. But basically, Perez, the two Red Bulls got great starts, and Perez was going round the outside, but Leclerc was the meat in a Red Bull sandwich, had nowhere to go. Perez turned in, and his car basically got thrown into the air, slammed back down, and he probably has a bit of floor damage as well. So we'll see if Perez is able to continue here, as he is in the pits. This could be a retirement for Perez, because it might be suspension damage as well. Just waiting to see if there is any update on information of the damage he received. But Perez's fault there. I can see why he went for it, but that was Perez's fault. Leclerc had nowhere to go, and neither did Verstappen. So, yeah, a shame there. Perez could be out of this race in the first corner of his home Grand Prix, and it does look like that is the case for him. Wow, guys. Wow. Wow. But yeah, Max has won this race, so congratulations to Max on beating his own record from last year with the most amount of wins. Perez is told to box, and he is out. He is at the back of the pack now, lapped, and just having a look. Are they going to retire the car? Just watching the TV coverage. Of course, with Perez, we know. I mean, he can come back. He can come back, but Perez is out of the race. Perez is out of the race. Yeah, he's retired. So yes, 150,000 Mexican fans or 190,000 Mexican fans very disappointed. So I do feel sorry for him. I do feel sorry for him because the fans must be absolutely gutted. But let's have a look at the restart of this, the replay of this race, and we'll catch up with the grid. But you can see here, look, Checo just got an absolute mega slipstream, and he's trying to go around the outside of Leclerc. He's pinched Leclerc. He's pinched Leclerc. So we're watching his onboard now. And he made the Red Bulls both made mega starts. It was Max's best start of the season, guys. He just went straight past Carlos Sainz and was almost immediately alongside Leclerc. And then with the toe, Perez is just streaming past Leclerc. But he's yeah, I don't. He wasn't clear. He wasn't clear of the Ferrari, and he just turned in too early. He just turned in too early, so maybe he thought Leclerc didn't have Verstappen on his inside, but that's a big misjudgment for Perez, if you ask me. A bit of adrenaline for him, and he ended up going too fast. Checo's out, Josu. He basically pinched Leclerc onto Verstappen, and Leclerc had nowhere to go, and Checo is out of the race. Too much damage. Oh, he really got thrown up in the air. Leclerc's lucky he's got no suspension damage, to be honest. Leclerc is lucky he is still in this race. But as we know, guys, said it yesterday, Verstappen has won more races when Leclerc has been on pole position than Leclerc himself. So, yes, it was always inevitable, wasn't it, that Max was going to win this race. Leclerc hasn't been able to convert his last 10 pole positions, which is a horrendous stat as well. So, yeah, a real shame, a real shame. Reminds you of Lewis in Qatar T1? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's very similar. Oh, so Leclerc's front wing end plate has just fallen off. And there is a VSC deployed. Apologies, guys. There is a VSC deployed. So it says there's a slippery surface in Sector 3. So maybe that's some oil from Perez's car, and that's why he's had to retire. Oh, guys. Well, in all of that, I was focusing on Perez. Let's have a quick update on the situation with the rest of the grids. Because we have Verstappen in P1, around 4.7 seconds, of course, VSC, so that will probably close up a little bit. But Max already putting out a very substantial gap on the Ferrari of Leclerc. Sainz in third. Ricciardo in fourth position. Go on, Danny Rick. Hamilton in fifth. Piastri has regained that position back from George Russell that he lost at the start. Hulkenberg up 4 positions. Go on, Hulkenberg, in his 200th Grand Prix today. Gasly up 2 positions. Zhou in 10th. Albon. Keep an eye out on Albon in P3. They're trying to fix the Red Bull and get Max back out, gets Checo back out again, but don't think he's going to be able to. Adrian Newey is shaking his head. But the VSC is coming to an end, guys. Does this mean Checo's seat in danger? It was in danger about halfway through the season. As we're back underway. I think Danny Rick out-qualifying him yesterday, and then AlphaTauri pretty much put the nail in Checo's coffin, unfortunately. But yes, here we are. We are back underway racing. Ocon is down 4 positions. He is the biggest loser thus far in 19th place. Stroll up 2 positions after starting in the pit lane. Sargent is up 2 positions as well. Alonso down 3, and Norris is up 2 positions. Sonoda up 4 as well. Just watching Lando's overtake on Alonso, someone requested. So seeing that side by side on the soft compound tyre. And it was done before he got to the first corner. So a nice, easy overtake for him. So I think the intriguing fight here now, guys, is not really, of course, Max. We know that he's got the pace and the tyre management to really pull away from those Ferraris. How long will Ricciardo be able to hold off the Mercedes of Hamilton and Piastri in the McLaren and George Russell, who's not too far behind? And will Hamilton be able to get past Ricciardo and start attacking those Ferraris? It is really much a fight for the podium now as this race develops. Checo was in danger before this, yes, he very much was. So I think Ricciardo gets a podium today, then Checo should be ready to pack his bags. Yeah, I mean, would we see a swap with only 3 races remaining? I mean, it'd be a massive kick in the teeth. I think they're kind of entitled to do that, but we'll see. So, DRS is now activated, guys. So, Danny Rick, importantly for Hamilton, is that Danny Rick does not have DRS from Sainz in front. He will still be getting the tow, but of course, the tow is not as effective here. Neither is the DRS, but when you've got it with such a long back straight, regardless of altitude, it does make a difference, as Hamilton is the fastest man on circuit at the moment, a 23.3. So maybe Hamilton might have the race pace on Max. I mean, I imagine there'd be some tyre management. Hamilton's probably pushing right now to get past Ricciardo. Max is probably just like, yeah, we'll chill and see how we get on. I think Verstappen wins, Hamilton and Russell on the podium. Ooh. Can Rick attack the Ferraris if tyre deg for them is as expected? Not at this stage of the race, no. I think it's more likely that Hamilton will overtake Danny Rick. He does seem to be all over the back of him. So there's going to be no resurrection for Checo Perez, guys. He is out of the car, and once you are removed from the car, you are not able to get back in it and get back out on track. So yes, that car is out after that first corner incident, guys. Right. Verstappen currently P1, only 2.1 seconds ahead of Leclerc, as interestingly last time around he was it's set basically the same lap time. Hamilton this time around is on the attack of Danny Ricciardo. Does he have enough down into T1? He's definitely closing. Is he going to do him on the brakes? Of course, we know Danny Ric very good on the brakes, especially when he's in a car that he feels comfortable with, unlike that McLaren of the past. And well, Hamilton will have to stay behind Danny Ric for pretty much another lap, as there's not really any other viable overtaking opportunities between here and the rest of the circuit. That is the unfortunate part of the Mexico Grand Prix, as there was a brief yellow flag into turn 1. I wonder if someone had a slight little off there, as Alonso is down 4 positions now. He's actually lost a position to Sargent. So my conspiracy theory that Alonso is being pinned back, guys, by Aston Martin. I think someone's gone in there and unscrewed a few screws in Alonso's car in the past few races to make Stroll look better. And yeah, Alonso down in 17th position. This is the Alonso who, up until last week, qualified for every single Q3 and has a number of podiums under his belt this year as well. So yes, something seriously up at Aston Martin at the end of this season. Hamilton needs to finish 8 points better than Perez in every race, including this one and the sprint in Brazil, to become second in the championship. Yeah, he lost out a lot, didn't he, with that DQ? It was a big old swing back towards Perez. I think 37 points now is the difference. Hamilton, once again, not able to really get within close enough range of Danny Ric to get past him, even with the DRS assistance. So that AlphaTauri has got pace. It has got pace. But saying that, though, Hamilton is losing a lot of time behind Danny Ric. If you look at the two Ferraris and Verstappen and Leclerc up front, who actually... Leclerc has slightly closed that gap on Verstappen. 2.1 seconds now, only around a tenth, 2 tenths. And I say that, he's just lost a bit of time there through the slower section. He did get that time just around dead on 2 seconds at the end of the first sector. So Leclerc actually doing quite well, hanging on a lot better than I thought he would at this stage of the race, even though we're only 8 laps in. But Verstappen maybe getting a move on now, a 32.3 for him in the middle sector. That's 3-4 tenths faster than Leclerc this time around. So expect Verstappen to really pull out the gap here in this lap. Hulkenberg being P8 is a nice gap for the top 5. Yes, probably. Yeah, he's holding up the pack at the moment. So can Hamilton have a run on Ricciardo this time around? I don't think he can. He's coming out of that last corner around 8 to 9 tenths behind, and it's not enough. It's just not enough for him to gain. If you see that gap, Russell also struggling to catch up and overtake Piastri. Hulkenberg there. Let's see if Gasly can close up the gap on Hulkenberg. Zhou will be getting a double toe as they head down into T1. This is a circuit where we do see some double overtakes, as Tsunoda is the first to pit off of the medium compound tyre. And where is he going to go on to? Is he going to go on to a set of hards, or does he have damage? Tsunoda had to start from the pit lane this weekend anyway. And it seems to be a very long stop for Tsunoda. So I think Tsunoda, just watching the replay of his incident, Tsunoda just outbraking himself and running wide into T1. So very, very slow stop for Tsunoda. So I wonder if there was maybe some damage on his car. But he is now out on the hard compound tyre. So maybe a bit of a stretch for him to do 62 laps on the hard with a track temperature of 47 degrees. We've seen the hard tyre go very long in the past, but hopefully it won't be going that long at least. Why are the guys liking? Yeah, if we could get to 100 likes, guys, 56 thus far. Be much appreciated if you could get that to 100. It helps push the stream. But as we say that, guys, Hamilton now is closer to Danny Ric. Less than half a second. 4 tenths. That gap is closing. It's closing. This is a real opportunity for Hamilton to get past Danny Ric into the first corner. Has he got it done? And he has. Is he able to hold it on the brakes? Of course, we know Danny Ric, last of the late breakers. And George Russell also having an attempt on Piastri there as well. Of course, there is a DRS back down into turn 4, but it is double DRS. If you get DRS down into turn 1, you get the DRS into turn 4, I believe. I think that is the case. Unless Hamilton was behind Ricciardo when he went across the DRS line, but I think it's a double DRS zone. So Hamilton, interestingly now, is ahead of Danny Rick. How long can he pull away now from Danny Rick, who probably was holding him up, and see if he can get down into those low 23s, which currently Leclerc and Verstappen are doing. But Lando is being told we must pull out to the right, which is to pull out of the dirty air of the car in front so that they can cool the car down, because very thin air here at high altitude at the Mexican Grand Prix. So maybe we'll see some reliability issues come into play at the end of this race. Hamilton reporting car is running hot, so staying out of dirty air. That was probably why. And then he had an opportunity to really close the gap. So yeah, just watching that move on Danny Rick and Hamilton. Went down the inside. A nice move from him. So Russell having another go on Piastri. Can he do it? No. So yes, strategic element is in play here in regards to pulling out of the dirty air. It's not going to be attack after attack after attack due to that overheating that we can see here at this circuit. Interestingly, Tsunoda is the fastest man through the second sector on a brand new set of hard compound tyres. Lando on into the pits as Tsunoda sets the fastest lap of the race, a 22.5 on a brand new set of hards. Norris now out onto the hard tyre. So we'll see if he's able to. This is going to make a massive undercut for Lando on this hard compound tyre. I still can't see him going any longer. I still can't see him taking these to the end, but we'll see. So Alonso has now been overtaken by his teammate. Whether that was actual team orders, who knows? But Alonso down in 16th position, and Ocon is in 17th as well. Sargent, interestingly, up 5 positions. So Sargent's not doing too bad. Looking to catch up to the pack that is all aboard the Hulkenberg train. Hulkenberg, Gasly, Zhou, Albon, Bottas, Magnussen, Sargent there is forming. Of course, lots of dirty air there. I'm surprised Albon hasn't made a bit more headway. But Hamilton last time around a 23.6 in clean air compared to Ricciardo, who did a 24.1. So Sainz did a 24.1 last time around as well. So that's half a second. Hamilton is just knocked out of Sainz's gap to him. So we'll see how long it will take for him to get onto the back of the Ferrari. Where's the missus, Harry? She's in the other room. She's sitting in the front room, watching it on the big TV, and also being a mod. So she is watching you all. 2 races this year where turn 1, lap 1 decided the fate of a driver. Yeah. There she is. She's always lurking. If the hards are that quick, we might see the top pit very soon. Well, it's not so much how quick they are, Paul. It's whether or not they'll be able to last 60 laps. And I don't think they will. I don't think that. It's a very high track temperature, 47 degrees. I think if I bring up what that pit strategy was from Pirelli last time around, just to see, it might be that they're quicker, but it might be that how long are they going to last for. So Pirelli were predicting lap 27 to 34 is when you'll see the medium tyres come into pit for a 1-stop. We may see guys do a 2-stop, which is the medium pitting on lap 17, so about 3 laps away from now. I mean, they do think the hard tyre, actually, Pirelli say it could go lap 50 to 56. They reckon it could do 56 laps. So maybe Norris might be taking this to the end. I mean, if Norris takes this to the end, wow. It just shows how light on the tyres this circuit is. I thought it was a bit harder on the rears than that, to be honest with you. Especially as the track temperature increases, but yeah, that's a bit of an intriguing one. It is a 1-stop race, yeah, unfortunately. It's always a bit boring, unless there's a safety car, but... Ruth Hamilton, P2 in the championship. I feel so bad for Perez at his home race. Yeah, I mean, whatever your opinions are of Perez, it would have been great to see him. It's always great to see him finish on the podium in Mexico. It's a party atmosphere, and it would have been great to see him at least have an opportunity to win. But yeah, he's ruined any opportunity there. He truly has. So Leclerc and Sainz, guys, the two Ferraris are now lapping in the 24s. Verstappen into the 26s. Consistently in the 23.6. So he is pulling out that gap on Leclerc now to 4 seconds. Hamilton, though, 23.8. He's the only driver other than Verstappen and Lando, who is down in 14th, 18th position on a brand new set of hards. He is the only other driver who is lapping in the 23s. So Lewis definitely does have some pace. We'll see how it unfolds and how quickly he can probably get past that the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. There's Albon. Albon's got ahead of Guan Yu Zhou. Just made an overtake there. Up into P10. Go on, the boy. Go on, Albon. Gasly still struggling to get past Hulkenberg. There is basically no overtaking there's very little to no overtaking through the second and third sector. It's it's kind of why it makes it a bit of a boring race, to be honest with you. Hopefully race won't be as boring as last year. We'll see. Still a long way to go. So Hamilton is closing up that gap at 23.8 last time around to Sainz. He's 23.19, so nearly within that DRS of Carlos Sainz. So we'll see. Next lap around he should, or this lap around he should have DRS. Verstappen 23.7. Leclerc did respond with a 23.8 last time around. So maybe just taking a bit of time to tyre manage. Gasly catching Hulkenberg, but just not able to get close enough to overtake. Ocon is chasing down Alonso. We know there's no love lost between those two. Lance Stroll is with a load of brand new parts apparently again, or at least some changes to his car, is in 15th position. Sargent slowly catching up to Magnussen and Bottas. He was half a second quicker last time around compared to Magnussen, who was being held up in traffic there. So it shows how much traffic really does slow you down at this circuit. What does DNF mean for his career? For Sergio? It's probably the final nail in the coffin. I think the final nail in the coffin was Ricciardo's performance yesterday. But that's that decision and that rush of adrenaline that he's just done there. It's, all but confirmed it, in my opinion. Max will finish P1. Yeah, most likely, guys. Most likely. But yes, if you could hit the like button, guys, it'd be much appreciated. 68 of you now, and we've got over 200 viewers in here. Hopefully, as well, the Lewis is reporting the balance is great. So Lewis feels confident. Lewis feels confident in this car. How quickly can he pass those Ferraris? Does he have the pace in clean air to catch Verstappen? I don't know. I think a safety car would be nice. To at least close up the gap, as Gasly really having a go at Hulkenberg there down into T1. Is he got enough here with the double DRS to have a run down into turn 4? We will see. I don't think we've really seen any overtakes down into T4 yet this weekend or this race. Verstappen not pulling out big enough of a gap though, in my opinion. Only 4 seconds to Leclerc. Surprisingly, Leclerc is kind of staying with. I thought Max would have pulled out much further of a gap than Ferrari by now. They seem to be doing much better on their tyres than they did at Kota. Wish Lewis is going to have a podium. Possibly. Yeah, possibly. A confident Lewis is a scary Lewis, yes. It's like any driver. There's drivers out there, but when they've got a car underneath them that they can feel confident in, like, they're amazing. Danny Rick is one of those as well. So Hamilton is 1.2 seconds behind now, so maybe we can't see obviously on the track map, but most likely pulling out of the slipstream of Carlos Sainz. Maybe just biding his time, just stalking Carlos and seeing if he can force him into a mistake. Just see if he can eke his tyres out a bit longer. So with the pace difference though of that of Norris and of course Tsunoda out on a fresh set of tyres, that undercut is powerful. If you can undercut the car ahead, I think that's definitely the choice here today. I don't think the overcut is going to be... hang on. So Hamilton being told by Bono, we'll let the powder dry for a minute and we will let the deg come to us. So they suspect that Sainz, the Ferraris, will come back to him. So it's in a bit of a management phase of this race at the moment as they see the pace being pretty good. Interestingly though, guys, Leclerc will be investigated after the race for driving in an unsafe condition. Is Perez going to come back from the dead? Not this time, George. No, not this time. No, we was all expecting it, but he's out of the car, and the car is terminal, so he is out. Who can stay in DRS range whilst keeping the car cool at tracks like this? Yeah, he is. I mean, look, Lewis is an experienced driver. He's been there and done it all. He's been in different eras. He's dealt with different tyres. Although Lewis does look like he's trying to get a move on Sainz, maybe. What he's very good at is that, like, what people don't realise is that it's on power as well. It's about being able to carry the speed through the corners and minimise how much throttle you have to put into the car to limit the amount of spin that you put into the tyres. That all goes to tyre management, as Hamilton really seems to be all over Sainz at the moment. If he stays this close to him, he'll be able to easily drive past Sainz into T1. You came here for the comments, Tom. Well, that's what you guys come here for, is for my expert opinion and alternative commentary. You get real opinions here, guys. Not like you do on Sky, where it's all wishy-washy and they have to be very neutral and very... they can't say it how it is. Checo enacting an early... Yeah, isn't it Day of the Dead? Is it Day of the Dead's festival? Is it around this time? So, Lewis with DRS activated. Is he going to have an opportunity, or is he just going to sit outside the toes? Verstappen is the first to pit. Interesting. So, we know Red Bull are very, very tactical, and they don't really miss a trick when it comes to their pit stops. And that is intriguing. Red Bull taking the initiative and pitting first. As Verstappen, literally, as he reported on the TV that his tyres are giving up, they've brought him straight in. There is no dilly-dallying from Red Bull. You have to give it to them. They've been very, very good with their pit stops and their strategy calls in the past. So, I mean, look at it. Max is already basically on the back of Russell. So, yeah, great pit stop from them. Lipton iced tea. I know it's only Lipton tea, but I assume iced tea. Lipton tea, thank you for the sub, buddy. That's why we're here with you and not with Sky. Thanks, Monique, thank you. And my conspiracies, yeah. Well, look, I've become very cynical as I've got older, and I think if you look at things at face value, I don't think a lot of things aren't face value. There's always, you have to kind of read between the lines with a lot of sport. And yeah, it all comes out eventually. So, Lewis, is any of the Ferraris going to pit? No. So, they're going to try and go a bit longer. Of course, this hard tyre can go longer. So, what this is, interestingly enough, is that is the hard tyre going to fall off enough? In the past, see, this is the thing, is that Red Bull have learnt from the past. Last year, they pitted early, and the hard tyre just didn't fall off. Mercedes thought the hard tyre would fall off, and it didn't. So clearly the Ferraris and the Mercedes are like, well, no, we're going to stay out. We think taking the tyre 50 laps is a long way to go. We'll see. We'll see if it is. Max is going to be on the back and probably pass Russell and Piastri very soon. But yeah, that's... I think Red Bull have made a great decision there again. I think they have. I think if this hard tyre does just not fall off, but it is a softer compound this year than it was last year, so maybe it will, and maybe the Ferraris and the Mercedes will have, specifically Hamilton, will have fresher tyres towards the end of the race as Verstappen's tyres come to fall off a bit. We'll see. Not heard many new subs on the stream. Hit that sub. Oh, thanks, Josh. It's always my biggest cheerleader. My biggest cheerleader. Yep. No, if anyone has subbed and it hasn't come up as an alert, which happens with YouTube, if you don't have your subscribers set to public, it won't come up as an alert. Much appreciated. We hit over 14,000 viewers yesterday. So subscribers. So thank you guys. Of course, at the moment there are technical difficulties as Verstappen eases past Russell down into T1. Not much of a fight from him. Obviously on different strategies and at different stages of this race. As Guan Yu Zhou comes into the pits now as well. We're starting to see some pit stops from the guys further back down the grid. As Norris is caught up to the back of Ocon, and Tsunoda is a little bit off of Norris at the moment. Is Norris going to get an overtake on Ocon down into T1, who does have the toe of Alonso and the DRS as well? And... oh, does he? No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. So yes. Yes. Oh, no, hang on. Norris has got past Ocon. Norris, with the fresher tyres, has got past Ocon down into T4. And I think that is the first overtake we have seen down into T4 today. So well done to Lando Norris, who's obviously trying to fight back in this race. But yes, YouTube at the moment, guys, do apologise if you're suffering a few buffers, lags, technical difficulties. YouTube is not performing very well today, and that's across the board. So yes. How much time is lost for the pit lane? I don't know, Warren. I don't actually know. Come here for my non-PC band conspiracy theories and better commentary than Crofty. Thank you, Zed. Thank you. I'm going to print that off and frame it. Or get it on a t-shirt. Right, so Verstappen, the next lap later, past Piastri as well. So he's making very quick work of Russell and Piastri. It seems to be that Russell is falling off quite a bit. 25.2s last time. Hamilton 24.5. Verstappen 22.6. Signs being reported. We still think the one stop is best for us. So maybe Verstappen going for a two stop? I don't know. Stuffy merch when? I'm in talks with, so as I said, I have a meeting with someone tomorrow. Part of it is merch. So yes, maybe in the new year, put our heads together and get some ideas together for some stuffy merch. I want to do it. I want to do it properly. That's the thing. So. Yeah, unfortunately, Nicola, it's just YouTube. We could have gone over to Twitch, but ultimately, the majority of you who turn up every week or for these races, tune in on YouTube. So I'm not going to move over to Twitch, where I'm going to alienate a lot of you. So, but yes, let's keep an eye on the lap times. Thank you, William. Thank you for the sub, buddy. Leclerc, yes, a 23.8 last time around. Hamilton is definitely being held up by Sainz, but probably. Not too much of an issue for him. He's fallen back a bit he's fallen a bit behind Sainz. But for him, this is probably tyre saving stage. This is helping him. Wanting to go long on those mediums, probably going to help him. Max is going very quick. He's 2 seconds a lap quicker than pretty much everyone ahead of him at the moment. At least 1.5 seconds. So yeah, he is a bit of a man on a mission on this stint, which kind of indicates to me that he's taking the tyre life out of these. He's going for a two-stop. With how quick he's going for a two-stop. I don't know. That's kind of what he indicates to me. Sargent just pitted. Yep. So, interestingly, so who did pit Zhou? So Zhou pitted and Hulkenberg responded and has come out ahead of Zhou, which was important for him. Of course, Hulkenberg was holding up Gasly. So we'll see if Gasly comes in now. Or if he stays out a bit longer. I think if he comes in now, he's going to lose out probably to Zhou as well, because the undercut is powerful, as we've seen. So I think for Gasly, it might benefit him as Hamilton dives into the pit lane. 24 laps on the medium compound tyre, most likely going to go onto the hard. He does only have one brand new set of mediums and one brand new set of hards available to him today. So let's see. Yes, he is. He is out on a brand new set of hards. So he has lost out quite a bit of time to Max, who's already on 5-lap old hard tyres. I think today, realistically, the Mercedes knew first place was not their fight. So they're looking to jump the Ferraris, or at least jump the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Let's see how powerful this undercut is for Hamilton. It'd be interesting to see if we see Sainz respond to that pit stop of Hamilton. Let's keep an eye on him as he makes his way through the stadium section. Verstappen, though, already passed Ricciardo and hunting down Carlos Sainz. A 28.4 from Verstappen into the first sector last time. He is flying, absolutely flying. He did go long here last year, I think. They also went very long on the hard, but we're a step softer in compound this year compared to last year. So yeah, because of that, the tyres might not last as long. They might be thinking they do, but they don't. It is high track temperatures, 47.4, as Piastri's now into the pit lane. And Sainz has stayed out. Interestingly, the Ferraris are going long. Intriguing. They're definitely going for a one stop, so we'll see how this plays out for them. Leclerc's aero seems better with the damage. Yeah, do you remember at Silverstone? That the front wing end plate fell off and he was actually quicker than Sainz, wasn't he? Pretty much. So, yeah. What this is going to do for the Ferraris is that if they're going long, they'll be able to go, like, they'll be able to take out a lot more out of their tyres later on in the race. Like, they'll have so much more fresher tyres, they'll be able to push more. And if this hard tyre falls off for Max and for Lewis, they could regain the potential win in this race and a podium. So, still a long way to go. Not even halfway through this race yet. What was Ham's pit time? I don't know. It's the one thing I haven't got on here is the pit time. I didn't see. Does anyone know that actually? Intriguingly, does anyone know how long? So our best bet is to extend an optimal one stop is what Ferrari is saying to Sainz. And he says, I agree. 2.5 seconds. Round of applause in chat for Mercedes, guys. Round of applause for Mercedes. Do you know that is only the second pit stop they've had under 2.7 seconds this year? The second. They have been shit with their pit stops in the past this year, guys. So well done to them. Well done. So what you're saying, Ferrari going to overcut so hard will be an undercut, the Mo Ferrari strategy? No, so yeah, they're going for the overcut, basically. Yeah, they're staying out long and they're going for the overcut. Remember, Pirelli did say that the one-stop strategy was pitting between lap 27 to 34. So we're only one lap away from that pit window opening, which they said is the ideal strategy. So we've seen Max come in and Lewis come in. Now, they're either going to try and see if these hard tyres will go long and to the end of the race, or they're going to commit to a two-stop because they have pitted in that two-stop window, which is going from a medium to hard to medium. So we potentially could see those hard runners pit around lap 50 if they're going to commit to a two-stop. But who knows? As Danny Rick is in the pit lane, as Verstappen has now caught up to the back of Carlos Sainz. Let's see how long Verstappen stays behind Sainz for. I can't imagine he's going to stay behind him for very long. Because, yeah, Verstappen is like 1.5 seconds quicker at the moment. Leclerc has a 10-second penalty for causing a collision. No, he doesn't. That hasn't come up yet. That wasn't his fault, Jeremy. He got pinched. Wasn't Leclerc's fault. 2.6 seconds for Russell. Well done. Well done, the Mercedes team. 2 pit stops in a row where they've got under 2.7 seconds. Brilliant. First time they've done that in God knows how many years. Spent €15 at a bar for drinks and they didn't have commentary on for F1. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, I'll provide it for you. I'll provide it for you instead. Did Piastri have a bad pit stop? I don't know, to be honest with you. I took my eyes away from the TV coverage. Hang on. Russell not happy about coming out where he did behind Albon. Piastri, did he lose out time? I don't think so. Piastri is ahead of Albon, and he was behind Danny Rick anyway, so I don't think he's lost out time. As Verstappen, as we said, made short work of Carlos Sainz as Gasly dives into the pits. So, interestingly, let's see where Gasly comes out. So, he is going to lose out time here, Gasly. He is going to come out behind Zhou and Hülkenberg. Is he also going to lose out positions to Magnussen and Sargent? That is the intriguing thing here. Here we go. Gasly making his way down the pit lane. Seems to be a pretty decent stop for him. He's going to lose out positions to Zhou. But is he going to stay ahead of Magnussen? Yes, he is. So only loses out of position to Zhou, but Zhou is on 7-lap-old hard tyres, and Gasly is obviously a lot brand new tyres than him. So we'll see how quickly he can make his way past Zhou and attack Hülkenberg, because that was an intriguing fire. As Stroll is under attack from Yuki Tsunoda down into turn 5 there. So Yuki Tsunoda trying, one of the first man actually to pit this race. How many laps is he on now? He is on, where is he? P12, 19 old lap hard compound tyres. So not doing too bad. Not doing too bad on Stroll, who is on... Oh, well, Stroll's on mediums, 29 lap old medium. So, yeah, you expect him. But Verstappen there, a 22.2. So quick at the moment. Hamilton 23.3 seconds last time around for him, which indicates to me that he's in tyre management phase already. And Verstappen must be going for a two-stop. Must be going for a two-stop. Got to be. For him to be going that quick, he's got to be going for a two-stop. Decided to go back to the hotel. So much for fighting for a Ferrari win. Well, never know. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Ooh. Am I upgrading my equipment soon? No, not anytime soon. No. Leclerc being asked, how many more laps can you do at this race pace? And Leclerc says, for now, everything feels good and everything is under control. Leclerc feels confident. Oh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. I still think the way, with how quick Max is going, he's got to be taking the life out of those tyres. Like, he's got to be. He's got to be going for a two-stop. They've got to be thinking, yeah, we can see that a two-stop is viable and we can go... We can run... we can pull out a gap large enough to then make the medium tyre at the end work. I mean, he does have two brand new sets of hards available to use today, Max, as well, compared to anyone else. So maybe he doesn't even need to use the mediums. He can just use the hards. But Sainz into the pits and comes out nicely in front of Danny Rick there. Seems to be a good pit stop from Ferrari onto the hard compound tyres. So this will be Sainz going to the end, the one-stopper as they were predicting. Hang on. Yeah, so the Sky are agreeing with me. They're also saying that they think it's going to be a two-stop for him with how quickly he's going. So Stroll into the pits now. 31 laps on those mediums. Only Bottas has been out on them longer, as well as Leclerc. So Leclerc doing quite well. Norris has overtaken Albon. He has indeed. He has indeed. And importantly for Russell, he did as well and is on the back of Piastri, closing him down. Piastri quietly going about his business today, slowly closing that gap down to Ricciardo. He was 3/10 behind Ricciardo last time around. So Leclerc is into the pits. So, will Ferrari have a good pit stop with Leclerc? They did a 2.3-second pit stop with Sainz last time around, and it seems to be they've done the case again with Leclerc. But will Hamilton be able to get up close behind Leclerc there? He's definitely closed the gap, that is for sure. So Leclerc has lost out quite a bit with that by running out a bit longer, but of course there is an offset there. Hamilton is on 7-lap older tyres compared to Leclerc, so I expect Leclerc probably to pull out that gap in the next couple of laps quite comfortably, take this to the end of the race, and well, let's see how Verstappen's definitely getting a move on. 17 second gap now to Verstappen. Can't be taking those to the end. Can't be. 2.4 seconds. Well done, Ferrari. I tell you what, Ferrari have massively improved their pit stops over the course of this year. There was that chart, wasn't there, of like the percentage of like pit stops under 2.7 seconds or whatever it was over the course of the year from the top 4 teams. And well, Ferrari was second. They have been phenomenal this year with the amount of pit stops they've made under 2.7 seconds. So it's definitely an area they've improved on. They're not making any of those cock-ups anymore. But let's keep an eye on that gap between Leclerc and Hamilton, 2.7 seconds between them. It seems to be that Sainz doesn't quite have the pace today of Hamilton and Leclerc. So there's definitely that fight for P2. Of course, Verstappen 16.5 seconds to Leclerc. So we'll see if he is... if he's going to... Oh, Magnussen stopped. Magnussen has stopped at the S's. This is a double yellow in sector 10. So, let's see, there's a yellow there. So, has he spun? Has he lost control of the car? Does this require a safety car? And there is a safety car, guys. We've got the safety car. Yes. However, this is probably screwed over Ferrari and their strategy. But we've got that safety car that we wanted to spruce up this race. Was it a big shunt? My TV coverage is a little bit behind. My TV coverage is a touch behind. Hamilton has literally just reported, we've got a long way to go in this race. Do you think we can make it? And then a safety car comes out. So absolutely helps them. His car. I'm so far behind with my TV coverage. Everyone's seeing it. Free pit stop for Max. Yeah, cheeky fucker. It might be a red flag. So people are reporting to me it's a red flag. My TV coverage is so far behind. Oh my god, yes. Jesus. That is absolutely crumpled. What has happened to that car? That's going to be a red flag. That's got to be a red flag. Come on, give us a red flag. I am not an advocate of just throwing the red flag, but this race needs it, guys. This race needs a red flag. Is Magnussen okay? He's just chilling. Oh, Magnussen looks hurt, man. Hopefully he's alright. It's on fire now. It's on fire. Oh, yeah, it's got to be a red flag. If it's on fire, it's got to be a red flag, surely. Free pit stop for Max and still P1. Yeah. Cheeky fucker. And the thing is as well, we had a brand new set of hard compound tyres to put on. Oh, the lucky bastard. Honestly. The lucky bastard. The suspension broke and sent him sideways, did it? Jesus. Yeah, I'm a bit behind. Red flag. We have a red flag. Come on. We have a red flag. Yeah, it is on fire, isn't it? Jesus. So that's going to benefit. Well, who's that going to benefit? Hamilton doesn't have a brand new set of hard compound tyres to bolt on. It's going to benefit the Ferrari. Just watching Magnussen's crash. Yeah, that was odd, wasn't it? Just watching it. Oh, it just went. It just went on him. Oof. That was a big impact as well. The right rear suspension broke. Oof. So, red flag. So, tyres. This is going to benefit a few people. So, it's going to benefit Lando Norris, who is on a medium set of tyres. It's going to bet Ocon, who is 33 lap old hard tyres. Bottas has just been screwed because he just made a pit stop. It's going to benefit Sonoda, who's up 10 positions at the moment into P8 on 24-old lap hard tyres. Is it going to benefit Lewis Hamilton, though, and the Ferraris? Because, well, if I'm looking at the tyre allocation, Lewis Hamilton has one set of used medium tyres left available to him. He doesn't have another set of hard tyres. This has massively benefited, on one hand, Verstappen. It's ruined Ferrari. The thing is, this will give the likes of Lewis and the likes of the Ferraris a chance to have a go at Max down into T1. That's the one thing that it will do. So, slipstream games again, Jerome. Yes, it will be. It will be. If the missus is watching, in this interval, can I please get a decaf coffee? Just place in my order, guys. But yeah, that was a big old shunt. I don't surprise, it's on fire, so it doesn't surprise me that they want to red flag that there. What does a red flag mean? If you don't know, look, listen, it doesn't. If someone doesn't know, it doesn't matter. We're all different levels of knowledge in regards to F1. So a red flag means that the race has to be stopped. It means that everyone comes back to the pit lane. Normally a red flag is thrown due to severe damage of a car, debris. Normally in recent times it's been because of crashes and the barriers need to be repaired. And everyone goes back to the pit lane and they're able to change tyres. So sometimes a red flag can really benefit a driver and sometimes it can really be a negative to them. There's been times in the past where a driver has pitted and then they've gone down to, they've lost like 8 positions because they've pitted, and then a red flag has happened and it means they're 8 positions down and everyone in effect gets Max not happy about the red flag. Surprisingly. Yeah, Max not happy about the red flag, of course. Understandable, because he's now going to be vulnerable down into T1. But yes, that's basically what the red flag comes out. They initially call out a safety car first, and then they assess the damage, and then they throw a red flag. Because they don't want to throw a red flag instantly, because otherwise... it screws up a lot of people's races for that reason. So there's normally a couple of laps of the safety car until they assess the damage and go, yeah, we need time to sort this out. Odd to see the rear suspension brake. Yeah, it was. I mean, it must be due to the vibrations they've been receiving through that corner. Through the S's, you've seen there's a bit of a dip. And he's probably gone through that a few times, and the oscillations and that's been put through there and the vibrations through the curbs have caused that to break. But very worrying that it's caused that to break. Very worrying from just like a manufacturer's perspective. Hi to Dan, bro. You've gone from rum to decaf coffee. Well, it's Sunday. It's a Sunday evening, and the problem is that I've run out of mixer. I don't want to drink rum straight on a Sunday night. That would have been so scary. Full put around the corner, yeah. Right as he's full on throttle, it just goes. He's handy. He took his hand. He acknowledged it went pretty quickly, and that he weren't going to save it. He just let go of the wheel. So K-Mag hit the curb. Yeah, I know. Very odd, very odd. No, we'll get an update, guys. So you will get an update like me in the information tab here, or section. It will give us an update on when they expect the race to restart. It's normally like a 15-minute warning. I don't think it will be the longest red flag in the world, but they did need to repair those barriers and clear up the debris and stuff, so. How could Alonso end up behind Stroll? So this is one of my many conspiracy theories, guys. This is why you join this stream and listen to my valued opinions on the likes of Mr. Apex podcast. Fernando Alonso my conspiracy theory is that Lance Stroll has been underperforming this year, and that's an understatement. He's crashed a number of times. He's not been able to get out of Q1. And, of course, he's been hitting his own stuff. He's been rightfully so dragged through the media for it, and he's been taking quite a hit. I think Alonso has had his performance pegged back in the car so that it makes Lance Stroll look favourable in regards to his performances at the end of this season. Circuit of the Americas last week, Lance Stroll was given all of the brand new upgrades in the car. They both started from the pit lane. Alonso was 2 positions ahead of him until he conveniently had to retire for a damaged floor. And Lance Stroll ended up finishing in the points because of that retirement and was looked to be like, oh, you finish in the points while starting from the pit lane. So I think some skullduggery is occurring in the Aston Martin garage, particularly on the side of Alonso's, to make Stroll look more favourable. Because he's baby Stroll, and Daddy Stroll can't have baby Stroll being so outperformed by a 42-year-old man, can he? Bottas. Tin 4 hats. No, I think a lot of it has logic behind it. I think when you talk about conspiracies in F1, most of it comes from kind of like I think you can see the logic behind it. It's not like totally out there. So yeah, there's been stranger things that have happened in F1 over the years. So Max has new hearts to put on in it. Wasn't he the only one with 2 new hearts? He was, Jimmy. He already has those on. He only did 1 lap. So he pitted under the safety car, came out, and then it was a red flag. However, Charles Leclerc only has theoretically 1 racing lap on his set of hards. So Leclerc and Sainz are in a good position here with the life of their tyres down into T1. Lewis is in prime position, you would say, in P3. But we did see Checo have a good run from P4. Of course, he fucked it up. But he had a good run from P4 down into turn 1. So maybe... I mean, that's why Verstappen wasn't happy about a red flag and didn't want a red flag. Because he's not able to control the pace and the restart of the race. He knows he's vulnerable being in P1. Welcome to YouTube on the BBC. Every conspiracy has a true part in it. Yeah. I mean, there's always kind of an element of truth in it. Order for restart has been confirmed. So 1:16. Anyone else there who doesn't look like they should be? I think that's pretty normal. So Alonso's starting at the back of the pack, man. Wow. You call it stroll-duggery. That's a pretty good one. To be fair. Yes, so let's have a rerun, guys, of what exactly has occurred in this race thus far. So, at the start, basically, Verstappen got an unbelievable start off the line. His best of the season, I would say. And he slotted up the inside of Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. Now, he went up the inside of Leclerc. Leclerc was on his outside as they were heading down to T1. But in all of this, Sergio Perez has got the slipstream from Charles Leclerc in front after making a good initial getaway himself, pulled up alongside Leclerc, actually got ahead of him. And then, if you imagine Lewis Hamilton and George Russell in Qatar a few weeks back, pretty much like that, turns in, doesn't leave him enough room, and Charles Leclerc is basically the meat in a Red Bull sandwich, suffers front wing end plate damage. However, Perez, his car gets thrown up in the air, massively slams down and receives terminal damage and is out of the Mexican Grand Prix after the first corner. Magnussen has just binned it after a part of his rear suspension broke. No kind of real reason for him for that to happen. It'd be interesting to see what did actually cause that. So there's currently a red flag for that. But race is about to restart 13 minutes past the hour, which is, just over 10 minutes time, guys. And that is where we are currently at in the Mexican Grand Prix with 37 laps remaining. Ooh. Whose fault is it, Perez or Leclerc? All on Leclerc. Sorry, Leclerc. No, not on Leclerc. It's all on Perez. There's nothing Perez could do. Where is the missus here? Does she not hear my my order? Honestly, the service can't get the service these days, can we? Let me drop her a message. See if she gets that. Right, so yes, not long until the race is restarted. They will start at the formation like this. So it'll be from the grid. So they'll do a formation lap again, and they will head round to the start, and then they will take their positions. And yeah, it will be 5 lights out, and away we go. But Leclerc could at least brake. No. Leclerc had nowhere to go. The gap was completely like closed on him. There was nowhere he could brake. What could be news with South School? I'm sure Clarkson. Singapore 08, right? Right. Technically, race is all starting again. Yes. However, I'd be interested to see if anyone has actually changed tyres. So we will get an update when they go out for their formation lap, what tyres they are on. So the likes of Tsunoda will definitely not be starting on his 25 lap old hards, I assume. Same as Ocon on 34 lap old hards. They have the opportunity to change onto a brand new set of tyres, or just any tyre for that matter. It doesn't have to be brand new. However, the likes of Hamilton, the likes of Leclerc and Verstappen, they'll probably be wanting to go to the end of this race now. And the medium tyre, I don't think will get them there. I mean, it may do. It may get them there. I just don't know if it will last that long. So we'll see. We'll see if anyone decides to go onto the medium compound. Because technically they've run that 2 compounds now. So they could go to the medium if they want to. But I expect Max will stay on that hard. So will Leclerc. So will Sainz. Possibly even Hamilton. We'll see. He might even go onto the medium. Well, on one hand, it's good for Max. On the other, it isn't. Because he's got a free pit stop. So he's been able to go onto a new set of hards. However, because of the nature of this circuit and the long run down into T1, he will most likely end up... possibly getting swamped into turn 1. It's the one track where you don't want to have a red flag and a standing start because of how vulnerable you can be in pole position. That's why you heard Max go, no, it's fine. They've put the fire out. There's no need for a red flag. Max should stay on hard, not gonna lie. He needs to rush and get distance while we can. Yes, I still think this red flag's a bit too early in the race for them to look at going onto the mediums. So yeah, we'll see. Lando on the softs. He was on the softs earlier. I imagine he will stay on the mediums because he literally just put the mediums on. Same as Albon. So there's drivers there, I think. I don't think there's going to be too much changing around because not many drivers have brand new tyres available to them to use. Max was the only one in the top 10 to have 2 brand new hards available. I don't know. Actually, I could be lying there. Maybe Danny Rick might have. But Danny Rick's only just gone onto them as well. Danny Rick only had 1 new set of hards. Hulkenberg had 2 sets and two new sets of mediums. Sonoda's got 2 new sets of hards. Sargent's got 2 new sets of mediums. Sonoda's very well positioned here. He's got a brand new set of mediums to use if he wants to, and a brand new set of hards. So he's used 1 of each. So Sonoda's in a very, very strong position in regards to his tyre usage. Obviously, Verstappen's just put on the brand new hards. Hamilton, Russell, Sainz, and Leclerc do have one new set of used mediums available. Max doesn't have another set of mediums to use. So Max is on this hard compound tyre to the end. That's for sure. He won't be going on to the soft. So, right, race is just under 5 minutes away from getting underway again, guys. It'll be a mess at the start. Potentially. Yeah, potentially. I think he was already super ahead on his strategy without safety car and red flag. Also checked the odds and they went up. Definitely unlucky for Max. Yeah. It's not that early. Already 45 laps gone. Well, it is early in regards to drivers trying to take the medium, I think, to the end of the race. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. I mean, maybe we see Lewis. Maybe we see Lewis put the medium compound tyre on. I don't know. I feel like 37 laps is still a long way to go. But Ferrari have an opportunity here to take this win, I think, if they can get ahead of Max into T1. If they can launch Max ahead into T1, we could see a desperate Max as well. We could see a Max who doesn't want to give up that T1 position. First time this year, kind of, he's really been put under pressure. Let's see. Got any predictions for the podium? Leclerc is saying the standing start with the hard is going to be a huge mess. I'm going to predict. I'm going bold, guys. I'm going bold. I'm going to say that Lewis and Max are going to make contact into T1. Lewis is starting third, and I think there's going to be contact between Lewis and Max into T1. And I think the Ferraris and then Ricciardo will drive away. And I think the podium is going to be Leclerc, Sainz, and Piastri. How's that for a prediction? If that happens, come to me for your lottery numbers next week, guys. if that happens, get in contact. Because Hamilton's got the run down into T1, obviously in third place. All depends on his start. He is on older hard tyres. It could even be Sainz. I think we're going to see a very aggressive Max down into T1. I think we are. Leclerc, Sainz and Piastri, hell no. We'll see. I think there's going to be a crash. Down into T1. It's definitely going to be contact. And I think one of those top four is going to be forced off wide. I'm 99.99% sure one of those top four is going to be forced off wide. And there's going to be contact. Oh, look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Right on cue. Just before the race restarts. Thank you. Oh, nice and hot. Love it. Love it. Service, guys. Service. I think the two Ferraris will come together. Ooh. If that happens, I will come to you for a lot of numbers for sure. To be honest, Casey, though, does Lewis truly care? Does he care about finishing P2 in the championship? No. All he cares about is winning. And he wants to win a race before the season's out and have something positive to take into next year. P2, like he even said, he goes, they keep asking him about P2 in the championship and him closing the gap to Perez, and he's like, well, look, we're all here to win the championship. He's not here to finish P2. He cares about who's first. So Max Hamilton, Sainz, and fourth Piastri. You think Leclerc's going to cock up again? I mean, the start on the hards is going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. We'll see how this occurs. I mean, this has very benefited Lando Norris, who's on a brand new set of medium tyres, who is now up into 10th place. So Lando's got a good opportunity here to make up some positions. Danny Rick podium would be madness. Imagine the shoey at Sergio's home Grand Prix. Oh dear. Imagine that. He cares about getting a win. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Oh, so here we go. Lewis on the mediums. Bold. Love it. I love it. Love to see it. Piastri also on the mediums as well. Go on the lads. Go on the lads. Russell as well. I love to see that aggressiveness from the Mercedes. Good boys. They had to. I think they had to. If they want to win this race, they have to try something. Whew. Harry the pumpkin picker. Hope you're doing well, Harry. That would be 8th if McLaren had read the red flag correctly with the new mediums. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. So Max has a brand new set of hards. He doesn't have any mediums to use, guys. So that's why he is staying on the hards. Leclerc as well has only just put on brand new hards as well as Sainz. So that's why they're staying on those. Piastri and Russell, though, and Hamilton, only 4 laps on them. Can they take that medium tyre that long? We'll see. We'll see. This strategy all depends on Lewis getting a good launch. This is what this all depends on. Ricardo will be swamped, probably. So, here we go, guys. Not long. Alonso's very far behind, by the way. Very far behind. So let's see what he... What's Alonso starting on hards? He's starting on hards as well. Alonso probably wants this race to be over and done with. Alonso has a habit as well, guys, bearing in mind. Alonso has a habit of just kind of creating an issue and saying he has to retire the car if he doesn't want to be out there. So I wouldn't expect to see Alonso retirement at some point during this race as well, because he's at the back of the grid and doesn't want to be out there. He'll say there's a fault with the car or something of the like. It's what he does. He did it a few years ago in the McLaren, I think it was, or the Alpine. So, right, here we go, guys. Here we go. Only a couple of seconds away until the Hamilton and Verstappen not responding in regards to being told that there are medium tyres to use. So here we go, guys. Here we go. Hamilton using for 1 lap. Yeah, so we'll see. So here we go, guys. They are lined up. It is lights out for the restart of this Mexican Grand Prix. And away we go as they head down to the first corner. It does seem like Verstappen has got a good launch there. Russell has made a brilliant launch, it seems, as he's up a couple of positions. Tsunoda up positions. Here's the important part. Down into T1. Is the track map going to sort itself out? Is anyone going to get ahead of Max into T1 as Hamilton is still ahead of Sainz? And no. Verstappen will literally have a massive sigh of relief as he has held on to T1 from Charles Leclerc, and Lewis is held on to P3 as well. Well, that was rather anticlimactic, guys. That was rather anticlimactic. Russell is up into 5th. Danny Rick is down into 6th. Piastri has lost a couple of positions there as well in 7th position. Norris is a bit of a big loser there. He was in 10th place and he is now in 14th. So losing positions there from Lando. I'm waiting for my TV coverage to catch up so I can actually watch the replay. But Hamilton, with those medium tyres, is he able to make quick work of Leclerc and try and get onto the back of Verstappen? If he wants to make these medium compound tyres work, he has to make short work of Leclerc because he wasn't able to get it done into T1. So let's have a look at the start of this race, the restart. And Verstappen actually made a great lap, great restart on the brand new set of hards. It was just supreme. and Leclerc defended from Hamilton, and Hamilton wasn't confident enough on the brakes to stick it down the inside of Charles Leclerc. So it was pretty, and then there was a bit of a bog down in the middle of the field. So yeah, not sure if that might have worked for Hamilton there, but we'll see. So we still have 35 laps of this race remaining. Hamilton within the DRS of Leclerc. Let's see if he's able to... Well, that's it. No overtaking is pretty much done between now and the end of the lap. Lance Stroll losing a position to Guan Yu Zhou there as they headed down into turn 5. But Stroll has regained that position back from Guan Yu Zhou. Some wheel-to-wheel action there through the slowest section of the circuit. Good racing from those two. But yeah, Max made an unbelievable start there on the newest tyres out of anyone there. Just launched it off the hards, and yeah, didn't give Charles or Lewis an opportunity to slipstream him whatsoever. He's nailed, but fair play to Max. He has nailed both starts today, and probably his best 2 starts all year. So credit where it is due, and look at him on the brand new set of hards, already ahead of Leclerc. But Hamilton, is he able to, with no DRS yet, is he able to get past Leclerc? I don't think he is. He has to be patient. Doesn't have enough in the Mercedes with just the toe to get ahead of Leclerc down into T1. Danny Rick holding quite nicely in 6th place at the moment. Hamilton and staying on the back of Leclerc, though, with these medium compound tyres. Piastri a little bit slow at the moment, it seems, on those scrub mediums. Tsunoda on the brand new set of hards. He's into 8th position. It's a good opportunity for Tsunoda to score some good points today. Albon, interestingly, is in 9th place, as we have a little bit of a delay in the track map there. Albon in 9th. Hulkenberg doing quite well as the only Haas left out there. Ocon, who was one of the biggest beneficiaries of that red flag, is in 11th, ahead of his teammate. I bet Gasly is loving that, but the fact he is now looking at the rear end of his teammates, because yeah, that was he's just launched. Gasly was ahead of him quite comfortably all race, and then Ocon is now ahead due to the luck of the red flag. So Lando nearly got... Wow, the reason Lando lost so many places is that he basically was nearly sandwiched. He had to back out and lift out on the main straight. So let's see. DRS open this time around. Will Hamilton have enough out on the Ferrari as they head down into T1? The same with Russell on Carlos Sainz. No, he doesn't have enough. Leclerc had the fastest last sector of the race thus far, which saved him probably from Hamilton's clutches. George Russell looks very close to Carlos Sainz, though. Will he have an opportunity with DRS again down into turn 4? The same with Hamilton. No, just too short of a run. And all the while this is occurring, Max is able to just widen that gap to Leclerc, as Leclerc is having to focus quite a lot in his mirrors. And did Ferrari use DRS this race? They have used DRS, yeah. Well, Hamilton's very, very close for the S's. Is he able to stay close enough and use the short DRS section that we have down into the stadium section? It'll be bold of him to do. It's almost futile, really, to overtake down into the stadium section, because like you have the DRS next down the long straight, so you're more likely going to be just vulnerable to the car behind who you've just overtaken. Yeah, Hamilton is all... This is it now. So Hamilton, a lot closer to Leclerc this time. He is under 4 tenths behind Leclerc as they head down this back straight. He is aced that last sector compared to the... Well, pretty similar, actually. DRS open. They're side by side. Down into T1. Has he got the move done before they head into T1 under the brakes? He has indeed. That right there was essential for Hamilton on the medium tyres, because those mediums, while they might make it to the end of the race, they are going to fall off a lot sooner than those hards, even though tyre deck here is not as high as it is at other circuits. So let's see, can Hamilton chase down Verstappen? It's what we were robbed of in the Circuit of the Americas, the US Grand Prix last week. Are we going to see, has that Mercedes got enough in those mediums left to take it to the Red Bull of Verstappen? We will see. We will see. Russell reporting that Sainz is weaving in the straights. And well, look, while Russell and Sainz have been kind of having a go at each other. This has allowed Danny Rick to close up behind them. Go on, Danny boy. Go on, Danny. I like George. I like Carlos. But who wouldn't like to see Danny Rick finish in 4th place and get a couple of those positions, or at least finish in the top 5 in that AlphaTauri? What a result that would be for him. Oh, what a lap from Verstappen, a 21.6 compared to Lewis's 21.8 on a hard compound tyre. Importantly for Lewis, though, he has broken the DRS of Charles Leclerc as Russell is about to have another attempt on Carlos Sainz down into T1, as someone did report that Lewis went onto the grass with Charles Leclerc. A bit naughty there from Leclerc, his defence, but we'll see that back, I am sure. But that was a great move from Lewis. Lewis is a man on a mission. He does feel comfortable in this car today. He has reported that the balance feels good. The only difference will be those tyres, as we do have a delay in the track map. Come on, catch up. There we go. Ooh. Well, I say it was naughty. Was it naughty? Let's have a look on the replay from the cockpit. No, it wasn't naughty from Charles. I take it back. It wasn't naughty. Like, Lewis, I would say Charles probably thought he covered it off and didn't think Lewis would put a wheel on the grass. And Lewis thought, fuck that. I'm getting past. And he did. So, let's see. Keep an eye on that gap from Hamilton and Leclerc. Of course, there will probably be a point in this race where Hamilton's pace does drop off, unfortunately. That is the only issue here. Max has kind of lucked out again. I say lucked out. He hasn't lucked out. It's obviously been a strategic choice by the Red Bull team to leave Max with an extra hard tyre. The only driver in the top 10 to have an extra hard compound tyre to use this week on the race this weekend. Bless me. Russell just not able to get past Carlos Sainz. Not able to get past him. The upgrades that the Mercedes have brought to the car in the last couple of weeks, particularly Kota, he has felt so much more comfortable in the car. And he's very much someone who wears his heart on his sleeve, isn't he, Lewis? Like, you know, if he's not happy with the car or with, like, an element of the team or whatever. And he seems much more positive in interviews and seems to have, like, just found a lot more confidence in the car. And he's quite evidently like outperforming his teammate comfortably at the end of the year. So, but Max is increasing that gap ever from the Mercedes. He's about similar pace in the first sector, Lewis and Max, but that middle sector he is putting out 3 temps, 4 temps every time. Let's see about the last sector, a 21.2 from Lewis. So about, look, you can see there, almost half a second there in the last 2 sectors alone. But Bono reporting, let's keep at it. It's going to be a tough stint to Lewis. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it's 121.7 for Max. Well, 121.9 last time around for Max. So yeah, he's pulling away. And the thing is, he's got the tyre life to do it. That's the intriguing thing. He's got the tyre life to do it. So Leclerc probably not worrying himself too much. He probably knows Lewis will come back to him at some point. But Danny Rick in the DRS of George Russell now. Piastri is under attack from Tsunoda. Those AlphaTauris, if Tsunoda gets past Piastri, we have 2 AlphaTauris in 6th and 7th. And that would mean Tsunoda is up 11 positions. And only 1 behind his teammate. That is a phenomenal drive from Tsunoda if he's able to do it. Hamilton saying, that's a long way on this tyre. We've got every opportunity here, mate. Replies Bono. Keep your head down, Lewis. Keep your head down. Put out the gap. But yeah, Piastri does seem to be struggling. Norris not really able to make much headway on the midfield there after he lost a few positions at the restart of this race. But Russell once again dropping back a little bit behind Sainz. Of course, he's on the medium tyre and Sainz is on the hard. So the longer he keeps Russell behind him in that dirty air, the more it's going to benefit Sainz. But Piastri, Tsunoda not just got enough there as they head down into T1. Albon in P9 as well at the moment under attack from Hulkenberg. I thought we'd see a bit more from Albon today, if I'm honest with you. I thought we'd make a bit more short work of the midfield. I think he would be quite comfortably the best of the rest when it came to the midfield. Or other than like that top 6, you know what I mean? Top 7 that we're seeing right now. But yeah, a bit of a strange one for Williams. Obviously looked very good in practice, and then it came qualifying. They were poor. Leclerc being told we need to increase liftoff instead of for the toe. So a bit of lift and coast for Leclerc. Maybe that's to help the engine, not keep the revs so high. Maybe they're hitting the rev limiter. So Verstappen, a 22-0 last time around to Hamilton's 22-4. Interestingly, Leclerc was a 23-1. Leclerc was 1 second slower, over 1 second slower last lap around to Verstappen on the hards. Verstappen is just absolutely pulling away here. Russell still can't get past Sainz, can't get past him, and I don't know, is that gap to Sainz and Leclerc closing? Ricciardo's dropped out of the DRS, which is a shame for him. Alonso, oh man, Alonso down in 18th position. So Leclerc's engineer just reported, we believe it in 5 laps, the hard tyre will be faster than the medium. So, yeah, not long. So Hamilton, important for him to kind of manage these tyres, see how long he can hold on to these mediums for. Of course, 27 laps remaining in this Mexico Grand Prix. It feels like an age until this race is going to be completed. George Russell, you've been giving me that message since lap 1. Can you just give me a bit more feedback, what you want me to do, where you want me to do it? So this time around, Hamilton 5 seconds behind Max now, 22-1 from Verstappen, and a 22-4 from Hamilton. Leclerc a 23-0 once again. So Max is pulling out a second a lap on Leclerc. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable pace, man. Unbelievable. Russell might struggle a lot at the end of this stint. He's old medium state. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think Russell is going to struggle. As Norris has got past Gasly and is attacking Hulkenberg. Tsunoda still all over the back of Piastri. And the gap from Leclerc to Sainz is just stuck under, well, it's around 2.5 seconds at the moment. So it's staying pretty steady between them. Sainz, interestingly enough, set the fastest first sector of his race thus far. A green first sector. Let's see how he does in the middle sector. Of course, still receiving a dirty air from his teammate in front, even though he's 2.5 seconds behind. Russell's staying within that DRS, isn't he? He really wants to get past Sainz, but just can't make it stick. He needs to stay close through the stadium section. It's all about the exit through turn 16 and 17, all on those rear tyres. Can he stay within under 5 tenths? And he can't. He's losing a lot of traction there. You can see the interval just goes out about 1.5 tenths out of turn 14 through that stadium section. And that's costing him the run, the all-important couple of attempts he needs to get alongside Sainz into turn 1. Especially with Sainz still receiving a bit of a sneaky toe from Leclerc. Max faster in second and third sectors than Hamilton. Yeah, definitely. It's where the Red Bull's been very strong all year in the slower sections. 6 seconds now. Hamilton is to Verstappen. Look, it's this. Unless Verstappen has an engine issue or reliability issue, it's Verstappen's race. It's all about the podium positions now. Is Hamilton going to be able to eke these tyres out for 25 more laps or 24 more laps because they're on a 25th remaining lap now? Or will they fall off and have a fight with Leclerc? Yeah, Lando now past Hulkenberg. He'll be chasing down Albon. Great moves from Lando. Ooh, great move. Yeah, side by side there. There's something like some stringy thing that's stuck to the back of Ocon's car that's waving about, which is interesting. I don't know what that is that he's picked up. So Tsunoda is a bit closer this time to Piastri. I think this is the closest he's been all race. So let's see if Tsunoda here, if he does decide to stay within the toe of Piastri, if he's not pulling out from behind, might have an opportunity down into T1. Is Piastri going to be under threat here from the AlphaTauri of Tsunoda? Tsunoda's definitely gone late on the brakes. Is he able to hang it around the outside of Piastri? They're side by side through turns 1 and 2 and 3, and Piastri has just held on to the position, but Tsunoda is all over the back of him. Will he have the DRS again? He will. And will he get an overtake done down into T4? We've seen very minimal overtakes here this weekend. And, Piastri holds on for another lap. But that is the closest Tsunoda has made Piastri think about an overtake thus far this race. Some great racing between those two. Woof. George Russell on the radio. That's moving under braking by Sainz. A-Firm see that again. So Sainz really struggling to defend from George Russell at the moment, trying every trick in the book. But how long will it be until he gets called up by the stewards? But Tsunoda, he's chomping at the bit. Tsunoda, he smells blood, particularly an Australian's blood in the form of Piastri. As Norris is closing up the gap of Albon, he's also in the DRS. The gap is now 7.5 seconds to Verstappen and Lewis. Leclerc is out to just under 5 seconds. Interestingly, Verstappen, Leclerc did a 23.1 last time around, and Hamilton did a 23.4. So are we seeing that changeover? Are we seeing that changeover? And Alonso's in the pits. Alonso is in the pit. Is he out? Oh, there was actually a collision. There was actually contact. Tsunoda's stopped. Tsunoda has obviously gone for another move on Piastri and has lost control of the car. He's underway again, but he must have had a spin as he is now all the way back down in 16th position. And do you know what, guys? I need to see this back. But Tsunoda, this is a hallmark of Tsunoda. He has a lot of potential, but he cannot convert it. This has been one of my biggest criticisms of him. He has potential, but he cannot convert it. As we're about to see a replay of the first contact between Piastri and Tsunoda. Oh, I tell you what, I was naughty from Tsunoda initially on Piastri, but then the next lap is obviously where they made the contact. So I want to see that again. So he's already given an unfair nudge to him. But want to see the move. Come on. Let's watch it. Here we go. Just watching it on TV now. Oh my god. Why? He just missed. Wow. Oh my god. That is such a rookie mistake. I don't know why you're effing and blinding Yuki, I imagine, and having a go. Like, it's your own mistake. You've turned in way too early. Way too early. Why have you not left him more room? That was ridiculous. As Norris has got past Albon, and Norris is now on the back of his teammates. But wow. I want to watch it back again, but he's just turned in. He's turned in so early. So early on Piastri. I mean, where does he think he's going to go? Oh, yeah. He's turned in way too early. Yeah, effing and blinding on the radio as he does. And, yeah, I mean, you've only got yourself to blame. You've only got yourself to blame. It was totally on Yuki. Yeah. And that's what I mean. He was on for a great result there. And he's just... That's a... When you watch it back, guys, when you watch the highlights, it's such a misjudgment. It is such a big misjudgment. Like, he's turned in so early. It's like he's turning in for the apex and Piastri's not even there. And I just... Yeah, he just has trouble converting results, doesn't he? So, but yes, going back to it, guys, because all of that got caught up in the drama. Yes, Lily, thank you for reminding me. As predicted, Mystic Scott over here, Mystic Stuffey. Alonso conveniently retires when he's at the back of the grid. Second race in the row he's retired. Yeah, and we'll look, and conveniently it will make Lance Stroll look better, because I imagine Lance Stroll will finish in 13th. He'll get past Bottas, and there'll be some positives for Stroll, because he started from the pit lane, remember? Do you remember the hardships of Lance Stroll? He started from the pit lane, and he'll make up 7 positions to finish 13th, while his teammate retired. Just saying. Not every conspiracy theory is bullshit. Can't even blame Netcode, James. No, you can't even blame the Netcode. What did Alonso do? Alonso didn't do anything. Alonso has a habit of, if he's driving around at the back of the grid and he's having a poor race, he will make an excuse to retire the car rather than stay out there. He did it at Mexico a few years ago, conveniently pulled over into T1 when he's, I think it was McLaren, or when it was Alpine. I think it was Alpine. Conveniently had an engine issue. He just says, no, I'm retiring the car, pretty much. But he makes an excuse that there's a mechanical failure, because you can't just retire willy-nilly. There has to be a valid reason. And I predicted the same again today when he was at the back of the grid. And yeah, we've seen it. So, but anywho. Not going to look for good for Piastri if Norris beats him after starting 19th. Well, yes and no, because the difference is that Norris, the red flag kind of flatters that, to be honest, because Gasly hasn't had a worse race than Ocon. Yeah, Ocon's ahead of him. Ocon was just fortunate enough to benefit from the red flag, because he stayed out there and goal hanged pretty much. So yeah, Piastri hasn't had a bad race. Norris was strong this weekend. He got shafted by obviously the Alonso yellow flag in Q1 yesterday. So. But yes, let's have a little bit of an update on this race unfolding. So Max putting out that gap ever more, comfortably over a second quicker than Hamilton at the moment, just lapping consistently on those hard tyres. Hamilton is 22.7 from Hamilton last time around. That was a much better lap than the previous one. But Leclerc also matching him, 5 seconds behind. So we are in that window, but Ferrari suggested the medium tyre would fall off and the hard tyre would become quicker. It's occurring with Russell and Sainz, I would agree. Maybe Russell is consciously dropping back from Sainz just to get a bit of clean air, because he's basically running the exhaust fumes of Sainz for the last 15 laps since the restart. And then, good racing, by the way, between Gasly and Bottas. Great racing by those two, side by side. There has been some good wheel-to-wheel action here. Bottas might have another go on Gasly, as he hasn't got the DRS open. So will Bottas have a go down into turn 4? No. As Ocon is having a go at Hulkenberg as well. But yes, still 19 laps left to go, or 18 laps left to go. So we'll see. There's still obviously time for those medium tyres to fall off and for Leclerc to have a go at Hamilton. I think we'll see Leclerc have a go at Hamilton before this race is over and done with. I'll be surprised if those mediums last that long. So. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. Yeah, it's really enjoyed doing those. Really enjoyed doing these watch-alongs. Of course, we've had a few technical issues today due to YouTube stream not performing up to the level that it normally does. So normally viewership's a little bit higher than this, but yeah, really enjoying it. So, hey, we're over 100 likes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. 100 likes is always my target, because it's a good benchmark. Helps push the stream forward. In front of new viewership, and help build this great community we've got here. F1 fans, F1 lovers, no matter who you support, we can all have a bit of banter as well in regards to, if you're a Max fan, you are welcome here, guys. I won't judge. I may judge a little, actually. I may just judge a little. But yes, Red Bull and Max fans, whether you support the Haas team, whether you support Aston Martin, and you are a fan of Lance Stroll, you're more than welcome in this stream, and to have, yes, a bit of banter between us, because that's what it's about. We want to see good races. That's ultimately what I'm here for. We all have our favourites, so yeah. Stroll's a joke. Lots of accent. You're a helmet fan. That is questionable, Brendan. Exactly scared. Exactly. Like, look, I'm not Max's biggest fan by any means. Anyone who's watched these streams or seen me on the Missed Apex podcast, I'm not his Ocon saying you can say to Haas, I'm going to go for it. They better be ready. He's telegraphing the move. Oh, he was telegraphing the move over the radio, Ocon. Interesting tactic that. Yeah, I'm not his biggest fan, but I respect that he's a very brilliant driver and that Red Bull have put together an amazing car, an amazing package. As much as it pains me to say. So, just destroying Stroll. Rocket. Yeah. Verstappen going to pit for softs at the end for fast Verstappen again, isn't he? No, I don't think he's got... Well, he might build out enough of a gap. I don't think he will. You're an F1 fan since the mid-70s. Oof. I won't make you feel old, Zed. I won't make you feel old. Whose fan I am? Well, you could probably tell from the helmet and from the poster. Yes, I am a Lewis Hamilton fan. Been watching him. Obviously, I'm British, so I do support the British drivers. Shock, there is some British bias here, guys, as it should be allowed, no matter where you come from. If you have a driver who's of the same nationality as you, why not support them? Why not? And you should be allowed to. Oh, Norris on Piastri, by the way. Is there going to be team orders here with Piastri and Norris? Oh, there might be. There might be some team orders here between Norris and Piastri to let Norris go through, because I think Norris has the pace to have an opportunity on Ricciardo. And maybe even a top 5. He's got some good pace. Yes, Norris has got past Piastri. And I think that was definitely team orders there from the McLaren guys to let Norris through. Sensible decision, really. Sensible decision. But yes, British bias, so I support the likes of Lando, Russell, Hamilton. I have always liked Mercedes. I've always had a strong affiliation to McLaren because I grew up watching them. Like Mika Hakkinen, David Coulthard, Kimi Räikkönen, Lewis Hamilton those days. And yeah, I do like Albon as well. Big fan of Albon. He races under the tyre flag, but also he's half British as well. So also see that in him. I don't mind the Ferrari drivers. Yeah, and there's some other the other drivers. I'm not like amazingly keen on, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Why did Alonso retire? Because he couldn't be bothered to continue racing the Mexican Grand Prix at the back of the grid. That's what Alonso does. He's 42 years old. If he can save his body, he will. Just started following the sport last year and you're a Lewis fan, but a great man racing for others. Yeah. Exactly, and that's how it should be. Ultimately, I want to see great racing. I want to see a close championship fight. I want in the constructors and the drivers' championship. I want to see battles for the win. I mean, Singapore this year. How good was the Singapore Grand Prix this year when we had 4 drivers going for that win? It was mega. And yes, I'd admit I wanted Lewis to win, but I also was like, I'd like to see Norris win. I'd like to see Sainz win. I'd like to see Russell win because they all deserved it, and it was just so good. It was just such like top class racing at a tough circuit, and you saw 4 drivers until the last lap with George Russell, of course. But you saw 4 drivers at the top of their game, like racing, like nose to nose. It was brilliant. Went to the same university as Adrian Newey. Did you said? Wow. Alonso seen the tequila bar and said, yeah. Fan of Ayrton Senna. Oh, man, I can only imagine what it was like watching Senna in his heyday. And, yeah, and Prost. Wow. Senna movie. If anyone's never seen it, the Senna movie, it's like a documentary film, is one of the best, like, motorsport films out there. It's amazing. Such a great insight into the man. So Norris is, by the way, guys, let's have an update on the race itself. So Max P1 pulling out that gap ever more from Lewis. Lewis is lapping in the 22s, which is interesting. Still on those medium tyres, so good pace from him. But Max just has him covered. Just bridging that gap even more. Leclerc in P3, not able to close that gap on Hamilton. It stayed around 5 seconds for the last 5-6 laps, interestingly enough. So that drop off that Ferrari expected the tyre to have hasn't come yet. Maybe Ferrari, I think Ferrari might have fallen into the trap of what Mercedes experienced last year. Mercedes thought the tyre was going to fall off on Max's car, and it just never did. It just never did, because the tyre, like, it doesn't take too much of a pound in the the tyres around this circuit. So Lewis has just pumped in a 22.3 there compared to a Leclerc's 22.6, the same lap time as Max. So is the medium tyre even coming back to Lewis? Who knows? Who knows? But I think Lewis now, as we head into 10 laps, nearly 10 laps remaining in this race, I think these medium tyres are going to last to the end quite comfortably. And I think Ferrari have fallen foul of expecting the softer compound tyre to fall off, which it's not going to. Sainz currently 3.9 seconds behind Leclerc. He's bridged that gap quite substantially to Russell now, just not been able to manage his tyres as much as Hamilton. That's the difference between being in the dirty air and not. Hamilton able to make pretty short work of Leclerc. Russell not able to get past Sainz and killing his tyres. May even fall into the grips of Ricciardo before this race is out, or maybe Lando Norris, because Lando is now within the DRS of Danny Ricciardo. Lando Norris could be finishing in the top 5 after starting, where was he? 17th in this race today. Al Piastri is falling off here. Maybe he's got a bit of damage from the contact from Tsunoda. He did make contact with him twice, so he's probably quite fortunate enough to still be going there. Albon in 9th place quite comfortably from Hulkenberg, who is being hounded by the two Alpines here. Ocon has had plenty of opportunity to get past Hulkenberg and hasn't been able to. Will there be team orders and Ocon allowed to let Gasly pass? Because, of course, he has benefited from that red flag. We know that the Alpines have had a bit of a drama with letting teammates back past. I think it was Suzuka. He wasn't too happy, was he, Gasly, in having to let Ocon back past. So we'll see how that plays out with the two Alpines. As Norris is all over the back of Ricciardo, will we have a move down into turn 4? He wasn't able to get it done into turn 1. Here we go. He's closing. Is he able to get it on the brakes? Oh, he's definitely having a move round the outside, Lando. And has he made it stick? I think he has there. I think Lando is ahead of Danny Ricciardo. What a move down into turn 4. As I said, not seen many moves done there today. And he has, with the medium compound tyre, got ahead of Danny Rick and is now in P6. What a drive this is from Lando Norris today. Another one who benefited from the red flag, but then, to be fair to him, lost out on the restart. And this drive that he is doing now in this stint is mega. And he now has his sights set on the back of George Russell. Woo! Favourite memory is the Senna in the Black Lotus. Unbelievable skill in the wet. Yeah, Leclerc needs to make up 0.5 seconds a lap now. Seems Ham got to P2 in the bag. Yeah, and this is a massive drop-off. And I don't think he has. Like, he's actually increasing the gap. Hamilton there, a 22.0 last time around compared to Leclerc with a 22.6. So those hard tyres, the medium tyre is coming back to Hamilton, it seems. Or maybe Hamilton's just saved enough. But I think the medium tyre is quite evidently coming back to him, and he's increasing that gap on Leclerc. You want Norris to be P5, but I want Ricciardo to be even better than he deserved. Well, look, if you think about it, Ricciardo qualified P4. Oh, what a move from Lando. Just watching it back on TV. I think they actually bumped wheels. Lando went round the outside. Great move from Lando. If you think about it, Danny Ricciardo is at the moment only going to be beaten by the top 4 teams. A Red Bull, 2 Mercedes, 2 Ferraris, and 1 McLaren. Piastri may still catch him. Let's say Piastri does. Ricciardo is then only going to finish behind the big 4, isn't he? So that's still an unbelievable performance to be the best of the rest. I mean, arguably, the slowest he's at the bottom of the championship, the Drivers' Championship. He's in the car he's in the team which is at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship as well, and he's about to score them points. quite a hefty amount of points because Tsunoda threw away points for them today. Very lucky boy, Tsunoda. Very lucky boy. Don't think they touched it all. It looked close. It very much looked close from the angle, but was there. So, Lando driver of the day. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, definitely in this second stint. I mean, in this last stint of the race. But, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Who would be driver of the day? As Ocon is going side by side with Hulkenberg, has he finally made it stick? No, he hasn't. Is he going to make a move like Lando did down into turn 4? I don't think he's got enough unless he decides to outbrake Hulkenberg. But that Haas seems to have a very wide behind because no one is able to get past him at the moment. It's all aboard the Hulkenberg train, as it was in the first stages of this race. And, well, we now have Ocon, Gasly, Bottas, Stroll, Sargent and Tsunoda separated by only a few seconds. And Ocon just not able to get past Hulkenberg. Gasly must be fuming. I'd love to hear Gasly's radio. Love to hear Gasly's radio because I imagine he's just effing and blinding. Let me at him. Let me at him. Ricciardo and Hamilton driver of the day. Yeah, I mean, Hamilton, when you think about it, is up 4 positions. I think Hamilton's had a very commanding drive today, especially this last stint. It's been very impressive on the mediums. This is where you're seeing the experience of Hamilton. People overlook the fact that he's very good on tyre management. To make these mediums go to the end of the race like this, be 32 laps old, be quicker than Leclerc, who's on the hard compound tyre, be quicker than Sainz, who's on the same tyre, to be commandingly quicker than his teammate at the moment, who is, well, very close to being under attack from Lando, is very good. I mean, he's only a few tenths slower than Verstappen at the moment. Now, Verstappen may be managing right now, not pushing so hard, but the fact of it, he's on those softer compound tyres on the mediums compared to Max, and he's doing only 2 tenths slower, shows that Hamilton is finding some pace and confidence in that Mercedes. So, I feel like the guys from the wicked teams are not used to getting points and winning. Joe had great position, been at P10, and now he's last with huge gaps to Tsunoda. That made, yeah, I mean, it's definitely the experience of being in that position. They do throw it away. I mean, it's the pressure. It's like being in a podium position for them. They know where they are. They know how valuable those points are. I mean, Tsunoda just... yeah, wait until you see it back, guys. Just wait until you see the highlights. It's such a rookie mistake. Like, he's turned in so early on Piastri. And Piastri's fortunate he's still in the race, to be honest. Because he got hit twice in 2 laps at the same corner by Tsunoda from pretty rookie mistakes. So, Ocon, this is where it's closest at the moment. Is Ocon once again able to have an opportunity on Hulkenberg into T1? No, he just cannot stay close enough to that Haas out of the last sector. Look, 21.7 last time around for Hulkenberg and a 21.9 for Ocon. So Ocon is just losing out in that dirty air to Hulkenberg, who is just able to get that little bit of extra traction out of the stadium section and, importantly, stay ahead of Ocon down into the first corner. The Ricciardo driver of the weekend. Probably, I mean, he's definitely got... I feel like for the race, for the overall performance, maybe for the weekend, it's Ricciardo. But then for the race, at the moment, I'm leaning towards Lewis or Norris. Because I feel like while Lewis hasn't set necessarily the world alight and taken it to max, like in this last stint, what he's doing is very impressive. Like, if you've been watching F1 for years, especially with the tyres and that, you just kind of, you can realise how... Ooh, the McLaren engineer saying to Norris, we know what Russell is like. He's all or nothing, so you just have to be patient. 7 laps remaining of this race. So, they go again. Hulkenberg and Ocon for about the 20th time. As Bottas is now attacking Gasly. I think Bottas might have a move on Gasly here down into T1. The Alfa Romeo. No. Bottas just holds back, doesn't have enough. But look at that train at the end, the end of T1 there. Wow. So Norris in the DRS of Russell. Oh, he's just lost it. He's just lost it a little bit. So we'll see But intriguingly, guys, Hamilton 3/10 quicker than Leclerc last time around. That gap now to Leclerc is out to 8 seconds. Wow, that is yeah, impressive. Why are we forgetting Leclerc still being in top 3 while having a broken wing? Driver of the day for you. I think because once again, unfortunately for Leclerc, this is the 11th time in a row now he's been on pole position and he hasn't been able to convert it to a win. I mean, yes, he had damage that's not due to his fault, but that damage hasn't really affected his performance. We've seen it in the past, but with these new ground effects, the new ground effect era, those front wing end plates don't really, if you lose one, doesn't affect the performance. So I mean, Leclerc's done well, but considering what he's had to deal with today, but he's not driver of the day performance for me. So he's very much, he's going to get a comfortable P3. He had an opportunity to have a go at Max down into T1 on a restart, and he kind of screwed that up. Ocon! Round of applause for Ocon. He's finally got the move done on Hulkenberg. Finally. Woo. So, can Gasly make quick work of him? Hamilton do a 21 on these tyres. Yeah, he did a 21 last time around, just done a 22.0. I think you're right. The mediums are having a second wins. They're definitely coming back to him, that's for sure. As we get to the latter stages of this race. Obviously, not enough to catch Max. Not enough to... just enough to really solidify his P2. 8.6 seconds to Leclerc at the moment. Vettel took the same tyre 38 laps last year. Lewis has 37 for the stint to do. So easy double. Yeah. Oh, here goes Norris. He's closing the gap on Russell. Has he got enough to outbrake Russell down into T1? No. But it's difficult to make Russell think about it. Of course, Russell was complaining about Carlos Sainz weaving earlier on in this race while defending. Let's see if Russell is a man of his word and does things differently. And there is Lance Stroll is off at the stadium section. What has occurred there between Lance Stroll? Has he had a little spin? He seems to be moving again, but Lance Stroll has most definitely had an off there and a spin through the stadium section. That's very odd, as Norris has got past Russell through turn 4 and 5, and Norris is now up into P5, 12 positions gained. I tell you what, it's hard to argue against driver of the day now he's got P5. I won't lie to you guys, But what has Stroll done there? I want to see what Stroll's done. But interestingly, Gasly was able to make quick work of Hulkenberg compared to his teammates. So, could Gasly have got past Hulkenberg a lot quicker than Ocon? There could be some fiery discussions between the two Alpine drivers after this race. Come on, TV coverage. Come on. I want to see the Lance Stroll fuck up. Oh, it was between Lance Stroll and Bottas. Stroll and Bottas causing a collision, turn 14 incident. I mean, yeah, it had to have been. There was no way that it was just like any other way. Oh, here we go. Yellow flag. Oh, they're showing this. I'm just trying to watch it, guys. It's so far behind. There's 4 laps remaining. 4 laps remaining. Great cutback from Lando. Great cutback. Great cutback. So we're watching Lance Stroll is in the pit lane. It could be a double retirement for the Aston Martin garage. Oh no. Here we go. Watching it back. So Bottas. Ooh, yeah. Bottas got a bit of oversteer. I mean, it's a bold move from Stroll. Yeah, it's more on Bottas. I think it's Bottas's fault because he had a snap of oversteer as he got back on the power after letting Stroll like on his inside. So So yeah, I think that's. I'd love to say it's Stroll's fault, but it was on Valtteri. It was on Valtteri. But yeah, me an Aston Martin fan. Can he get George as well? Can Danny Rick get George? Well, let's see. Hulkenberg's tyres have definitely fallen off because Sargent is now on the attack. But Danny Rick, yeah, he's within the DRS of Russell. Could Danny Rick still get a top 6 and overtake a Mercedes before this race is out? As Lance Stroll has retired from this race, a double retirement for the Aston Martin garage. So look at that. Stroll, Tsunoda and Hulkenberg. Oh, barely a second covering the three of them. Hamilton is 7.6 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc now, or 8 seconds. So yeah, that gap's staying consistent between them. The fact that Hamilton's able to do the same lap time pretty much as Verstappen on hard tyres when he's got 40 old lap mediums is very impressive. Just say that again. So, Danny Rick. Let's keep an eye on Danny Rick as they come through the last corner here, guys. He's lost a bit of time, I think, through the stadium section. But Russell is struggling on those medium tyres that he used so much of when he was stuck behind Sainz. Danny Rick seems to be gaining a lot here. Is he going to have enough down into T1? Or is he going to line him up for a T4 move, just like Lando did? So, let's see. Russell, 40 old lap mediums compared to 42 lap old hards for Ricciardo. And how close is Danny Rick here? I don't think he's close enough. Half a second. I think he needs to be under that as he comes out of turn 3 to really make an opportunity. Although Russell has struggled through this sector, he has been struggling for traction through turn 5 and turn 6. Come on, Danny boy. I like George. I do like George, but come on. It's Danny Rick. Oh, no. So, going to be more of the same. Danny needs to stay close to Russell out of the stadium section. Once again, Hulkenberg holding off the Williams of Logan Sargent. Logan obviously under attack from Tsunoda as well. Surely he's got enough here with the DRS open down into turn 4. This could be very, very tasty and spicy between these three. And, well, Sargent not enough to have a go on Hulkenberg into turn 4 there. I mean, maybe it's just a little bit too far behind. I mean, he's almost on his... Oh, he's side by side. Oh, Sargent's actually side by side, and he's got past Hulkenberg through turn 6. Do you know what? Well done, Sargent. Well done, because you've had a lot of... I mean, you spent most of this season in the wall. So, the fact of it, you've made a will-to-will overtake there, skillfully. Fair play to you. Fair play to you. So, final lap, guys. Final lap in all of this. I've got carried away. And yes... Verstappen is only a few corners away until he is the Mexican Grand Prix and about to set and break his own winning record. Remember, guys, he got 15 wins last season. He's about to have 16 wins this season. Ridiculous, really, in the grand scheme of things. As Hamilton has gone fastest in the second sector. Wow. And Verstappen is your Mexican GP winner. I wonder if there'll be any boos on the podium. Of course, with Checo going out, we know that obviously they're not the biggest fan of Max or Mr. Helmut Marko. And Hamilton is across the line in a very, very good P2. And he obviously turned the battery up on the last lap. A 21.3 fastest lap from Lewis on 41 old lap mediums is phenomenal. What a drive. Leclerc comes in at P3 once again. A Leclerc pole position is converted into a win by Max Verstappen. Max has more wins from Leclerc's pole positions than Leclerc does. That's also 11 pole positions in a row that Leclerc has not been able to convert into a win. A terrible, terrible stat to have from him. As Russell holds off Danny Ricciardo there. As Norris finishes in P5. 12 positions gained by Lando. What a drive from him today. Russell 6th. Ricciardo 7th. What a drive from Ricciardo this weekend. To split, to finish ahead of a McLaren on pace, and to be only behind those guys ahead, the Ferraris, the Mercedes, the Red Bull, is, if you ask me, guys, all but confirmed. Danny Rick is in the Red Bull seat for next year. Sargent has had to come into the pits at the end of the lap. No! What's happened with Sargent? No! Sargent has had to come into the pit lane on the last lap and is finished 16th, last of the finishers. What happened to Sargent? What happened to Sargent? I'm intrigued to see what happened with Sargent. Yuki Tsunoda, no further action causing a collision. Sorry, I'm just trying to... When you see it, I don't know how Yuki Tsunoda hasn't been penalised for that. And maybe because Tsunoda's ended up outside the points and he lost a lot of positions anyway, but he's still, like, turned in way too early. Odd, guys, odd. Anywho, after the non-penalties of yesterday, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. But yes, Ocon finishing just in the points there ahead of Gasly. Gasly is not going to be happy. Gasly is not going to be a happy boy whatsoever. Albon in P9. Go on, Albono. Yes, getting a point for the team. And yes, we have, of course, Tsunoda in 12th, Hulkenberg 13th, Bottas 14th, Zhou 15th, Sargent. I'm still confused as what happened to him in 16th. And then Stroll 17th, Alonso 18th, Magnussen 19th, and Perez 20th. Those are your retirees. So yeah, there we go, guys. There we go. Think we just missed a great fight between Danny and George. Did we? Did I miss a fight there? Did I miss a fight between them? Maybe if there was one more lap. But what if the crowd booed Charles on the podium for hitting Perez? He wasn't Charles' fault. Don't do that, James. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, guys, if you can hit the like button and subscribe if you like the channel. Of course, we'll be back next week because we have a triple header. We have Interlagos, Brazil next week. What a circuit. Unbelievable circuit, Brazil. If you've never seen Interlagos, you definitely should stick around for that. But yes, let's have a quick poll, shall we, guys, of driver of the day. I'm intrigued to see what your opinions are. No, my absolute pleasure, guys. My absolute pleasure. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Look, we got through the technical difficulties, of course, with YouTube. But let's have a look. Driver of the day. I think, to be honest, there's only really two... Well, three. There's three drivers, I think, deserve driver of the day, I would say. Hey, that rhymes. And here we go, guys. Who is your driver of the day? Is it Lewis Hamilton? Is it Lando Norris? Or is it Danny Ricciardo? Let me know. Thanks, Skeezy. Thanks, Lily. Thanks, Warren. Thanks, Tom. Thank you, guys. Monique, pleasure as always. Pleasure as always. Race as a whole. What was my opinions on the race? The restart spiced it up a bit. There was a bit more action than I think we saw last year. It still kind of fizzled out a bit, didn't it? Really. I mean, would the safety car, if we didn't have the safety car, would that have spiced it up more because of like the strategy with Ferrari and Red Bull? I don't know. Looking at this, I think quite comfortably, the hard tyre would have gone 50 odd laps. So I think this has probably spiced it up a bit, the safety car. And it's a shame when you need that from a race, really, to be honest with you. So thanks, amazing secretary. My pleasure, Steve. No worries for that. If we're honest, it's Max most weeks. He's just won by 20 seconds. Yeah. Am I streaming the sprint next week, Skis? Is it a sprint race next weekend? If it is, then I will be. Yes. Yeah, I'll be here next weekend for the sprint. My favourite moment from this weekend? It's got to be Danny Ricciardo. It's got to be Danny Ricciardo qualifying in P4. Who would have seen that? Out qualifying Perez as well. I don't not like Perez. But yeah, that's kind of, I think that's a nail in Perez's coffin in regards to his Red Bull seat. So yeah, hopefully there's no YouTube issues next week in regards to the buffering and stuff. Hopefully they've sorted their act out by then. But yeah, Right, who are you voting for driver of the day? There's 36 votes thus far at the moment. It seems to be heading towards... Oh, it's chopping and changing a bit. Most of you are voting for Lando. I think I have to agree with you. I think he's just pipped Hamilton. He's just pipped Lewis. That second stint, or that second half of the race, or especially after the restart, bearing in mind he was 14th. Norris was 14th after the restart because he lost a number of positions. So he's made up 9 positions in how many laps? The second half of the race? Like, an unbelievable drive from him. And getting it done out on track as well. That's the important thing. He done all of that out on track. I don't think he benefited from any retirees. So apart from Piastri, let him by. Showed his racing chops there today, Norris. And then a close second is Hamilton, because that is a mega second stint on the medium tyre. I mean, wow. 41 laps, setting the fastest lap of the race, pulling away from the Ferrari, who was on the hard compound tyre, setting the same lap times as Max as well, who's arguably should be quicker because he's on the harder compound. A great, like, respectable drive, experienced drive from Lewis there in regards to tyre management. So, not necessarily set the world alight in regards to, like, exploits on the track. Made some good overtakes, but yeah. 4 positions gained to finish second again. 2 races in a row now for the Mercedes. Of course, the gap to Max is a little bit worrying still, but yeah. Positives nonetheless. Who's my favourite retired driver? Mika Häkkinen. Love Mika Häkkinen. Loved him. What a driver. Ricciardo did everything he needed to do today. No mistakes. Challenged the top cars and delivered the result. Max learned a lot from him those early years back, bringing the result home. Yes, yeah, Danny Rick, and that's why he's a close third, because arguably we all expected the AlphaTauri to move back down the grid, didn't we? And he's done what he needed to do. He's got a bit of a bonus. He's got a bonus position really, because he's finished ahead of a McLaren. Of course, Perez was out of the race, so he's almost gained 2 bonus positions there. But he also took it to George towards the end. So, yeah, I think Danny Rick is back, and I think we're going to see him over. I think over the Christmas period, we're going to see Danny Rick announced in the Red Bull seat for next year. I'd be so surprised if Perez is in that Red Bull seat for next year. His performances are that bad, especially when you've got Liam Lawson as well. I think Red Bull have given Perez the opportunity to sort his act out and, like, finish the year strong, and he's just not doing that. And then you've got Liam, who's ready to step in, done a job at AlphaTauri. He'll probably come in to AlphaTauri next year, and then they'll bump Ricciardo up to the Red Bull seat. So, going to garner some wrath for complimenting Lewis's drive. No wrath, you'll probably get a lot of respect here. Thanks, James. Yeah, likewise, buddy. What is even the time? Don't even know what the time is. It's 10:15. Wow. Mika, also your favourite retired driver. Yeah, Mika Häkkinen was amazing, man. I want to get a Mika Häkkinen poster, actually. But, yeah. So, let's see if they say anything, guys, in the... I'm intrigued to see what the drivers say in the cool-down room. It's always an interesting thing in the race afterwards. I think Danny will come back to win races again if he goes to Red Bull. Yes. Yeah, he'll definitely, like... Whether he'll take it to Max, I don't know. Max is definitely, like... The thing is with Max is that... Yes, he's been putting in great performances and he's clearly been out-qualifying his teammate. Oh, hang on, just listen to Max and Lewis chat. Can't really hear anything. Come on. They're just watching Perez's incident back. Lewis shaking his head at Checo's move. Leclerc saying he doesn't know how he finished the race. Oh, they're watching Magnussen's crash now. And they're a bit shocked by Magnussen's crash. They're like, damn. Leclerc and Max looked at Lewis and were like, respect in regards to his move on him. Even Leclerc was like, oh, damn, that was a good move. So good to see some respect between the drivers, no matter obviously what the fans think between themselves. But yeah. Yeah, Jimmy, yeah, I was just watching. It's good to see, wasn't it? It gave him the old, like, whatever it is, like the finger snap thing. So yeah, no, thank you for that. Thank you for the sub, buddy, and anyone else who has subbed in the meantime and it hasn't shown up as an alert. But yeah, let's have a look at who your driver of the day is. 52 votes. I'm closing the chat. I'm closing the poll in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Lando Norris is your driver of the day, with Danny Ricciardo in, with Lewis in for second place and Danny Rick in third. I agree, guys. I agree. So yeah, Danny Rick is definitely in the seat for next year, most definitely. But yeah, there we go, guys. That is the end of the Mexico Grand Prix. Thank you for joining me this evening, wherever it is in the world for you, whether if it's evening, wherever it's morning. Appreciate you as always. We have, let's just check the schedule for next week. So Sky F1. So Sky, I'm just looking at the Sky F1 schedule. It's always the easiest to look at. So next week we have, if we have a look at this here, a bit bright. So we have 3 races remaining. We have Brazil, Vegas, and Abu Dhabi. Brazil is the culmination of our triple header that we've had at this moment in time. So we have qualifying 6 o'clock UK time next week. It's early. Sprint shootout at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the Saturday, and then the sprint race at 6:30. And then we have the race at 5 o'clock on Sunday. And then we go to Vegas in the middle of November after a week's break. And then we have Abu Dhabi to end the year. So yes, only a few races remaining, guys. We'll be back for that next week at 5:30 UK time for the qualifying. I really don't like qualifying on a Friday. I don't know about you guys. I don't like sprint weekends in general, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm going to call it there, guys, for a night. I'm now going to go rest easy. Hope you guys do too. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button on your way out. Of course, I still have my sim racing content that I am doing as well. I have a great video for you guys coming tomorrow. Yeah, one where I've actually been reported, guys. I've been reported in a very eventful Super Formula race, so be sure to turn your notifications on and stay tuned for that. So yeah, have a lovely rest of your evening. Top 3 of Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc. Driver of the day is Lando Norris in P5, 12 positions gained, and Danny Rick is probably your driver of the weekend. I think we can all agree there, finishing in P7 after an amazing qualifying on Saturday, putting it in P4. So yeah, have a lovely rest of your Sunday evening, guys, and I'll see you in the week. Bye.